The festival is nigh!
Here we go. Game 1 of the Golden Order semifinals for Elden Scrolls Season 2 between Helios and Nartock.
Yep.
Let's get it underway. Jay, center
Absolutely.
square.
Godskin Noble, kill Godskin Noble without sleep.
I will go for the Blackblade Kindred as the center square, but we will see what it
BBK.
is. Rykard is the center square, so right after Godskin Noble, you were close.
Okay.
But let's look at the early rush square stuff that you can look to see early. In the top row, nothing super early, but I will say there is a lot of synergy between obviously Radahn's Great Rune, and then if you go into Radahn's Hole and kill Mimic Tier, you can very quickly acquire the 3 larval tiers. In row number 2,
3 larval tiers for the lobster.
In row number 2, we see our first rush square with the collect 3 paintings. But we also have some nice synergy. The Somber 9 and Rykard, that is very good synergy. You can get there's very limited spots to get the Somber 7, one of which is behind the Godskin Noble. In row 3, mostly late squares, Deathroot, Rykard, Exaltation, and Godskin Apostle and Caelid. But we also have a Gil +0 on there. That's one of the fastest squares in the set, particularly with a square-off weapon. It is essentially scripted. That would combine nicely with the 7 Limgrave bosses. In row 4, however, that square, don't look for that square to go super quick. It tends to sit there for a bit. And then finally, we have 2 more fast squares with Runebear boss in Red Wolf in the bottom row. Overall, though, I find this to be a very interesting board because it is a late board, but surprisingly enough, no capital.
Yeah, no capital at all. Man, I don't even know. You know, there are just some really good plays here. My initial thought was Academy looks really good because, you know, of the Red Wolf and the Wet Blades. Obviously getting down there into being abducted by that virgin to get up there towards like Rykard and Godskin Noble and all that. But if a player, if Nartock or Helios sees something that they don't really want to go to Academy right away, they could try to take that Agil square and boom, column 2 is blocked. So I'm very interested to see what these two come up with. Also
for Twitch chat, make sure to get your Gambas in. I will close the Gamba at 1 minute after the prep time expires. Yeah, you know, the other thing too is like Dragon Barrow is very strong with the the Divine Tower of Caelid, because you have the Somber 8 and 9 right outside of it. Then obviously the Godskin Apostle and Radahn's Great Rune Restore inside of it.
Right.
That will be very strong.
Yep.
You know,
we were doing a bell-bearing hunter bounty Hoosier, and those 2 bell-bearing hunters could go quicker, you know, just due to how fresh like those are, and you never know. Paintings looks good. Man, ready to see what they come up with.
Unsurprisingly, both players choosing the same starting class, both starting with the Weathered Straightsword. That might sound weird because you're like, Weathered Straightsword, isn't that terrible? Yes, it is really bad, except it has square off, which is the most broken Ash of War for early game bingo. And plus they have the Divine Bird Helmet, which will give them +4 dex, +3 strength at the cost of a little bit of flasks. But that is totally worth it for early on. Very unsurprised to see both of them picking this class.
We're off.
And yeah, we are underway.
I foresee... I think Helios for sure goes Agil here. I really do. The square off, I didn't really get a good look at all of the classes initially because I was so focused on the board and seeing what the play comes out with. But the square off doesn't necessarily mean Agil, but I think Helios goes there, but I'm not sure about Nartock.
Well, they both like Agil a lot. Nartock is ever so slightly behind. He's like a second or two, but he's like 2 seconds or so behind on stream delay. Yeah, it is interesting too, because like the rush squares outside of Runebear, none of them are on the diagonals. Which the diagonals are, if you don't know, diagonals, especially in the early game, are very valuable because they block 3 bingo lines instead of 2. And obviously center square being the most important, blocking 4, but that's not going to go anytime soon with it being Rykard.
Right.
Yeah, so Helios doesn't grab first step and he goes straight to Agil. Looks like Nartock will grab first step.
And turned his camera toward Ogio.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this will be an Agil race right off the bat, but Helios will be ahead because he did not grab first step.
And this is, see, Chad, this is the kind of excitement we want, right here.
Yeah.
This is interesting because whoever.
Actually, no, Nartock's not going for Agil. Nartock is going for Seaside Ruins.
He is. Yeah, it might be a Rune Bear play.
Yeah, he might be going Rune Bear right off rip.
Okay. But I was going to say, I guess since the thought is still on my mind, I think these two would not let an early game snipe falter them. I think it would be really interesting to see what they come up with. But never mind, since Nartock is going to Seaside Ruins.
Oh, and Helios was having a great fight there. Bad RNG with the fire. So this fight is semi-scripted. If you get, there are certain attacks which, to be fair, you are unlikely to get due to how they stand. It baits out these stomp attacks. But if you do get them, it falls out of the scripted loop. However, that was a very nice recovery, and even with bad RNG, that was a 249 Agil.
Okay. All right.
Yep. I think Nartock's going to be definitely okay to see it, just because he didn't go that way. He didn't go for Agil. He grabbed Seaside Ruins and was on his way to Agil Lake South here.
Yeah, and even with the bad RNG and Weathered Straightsword, which is not the best square-off weapon, that was the second fastest Agil we've seen all season from Helios.
Man. I could have had it. Could have had it right away had he not maybe done that fire, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. If there was no fire, he would have had it 1,000%.
So both of them, Nartock getting Torrent, Hoosier on his way to Agil Lake North. We'll see if he goes toward that Great Sword check, maybe toward Academy, where Hooge is heading, or excuse me, Hooge, I read the name there, where Nartock is heading southwest. I'm assuming probably Rune Bear.
Yeah, and I think Weeping is like sneaky strong here. I don't think you rush it, but you have two Misbegotten bosses on the board. You also have Limgrave bosses, caves, and tunnels, right? So you can do Rune Bear, that's a Limgrave boss, and a cave, and a square.
Yes.
I wouldn't expect Nartock to continue to play in Limgrave, but later on, right? Scaly Misbegotten, that's one of the two Misbegotten bosses, a Limgrave boss, and a tunnel. There was a lot of like auxiliary value here in Weeping, not strong enough that you just like sack your progression and play in Weeping, but getting an early square while also getting some progress into Weeping here at the start, I do believe is quite valuable.
Yeah, I think the Rune Bear play is really good too, because I feel like Nartock and Helios have that definite understanding of what is on the board, where do I need to play to my strengths, where do I need to block, and with Nartock going toward Rune Bear here, he's leaving the Academy wide open. So this is a cave, right? So this will help him too in that column 2.
Yes. And now caves can go really quick. It is a variable square, so it can either be 2, 3, or 4. We rolled high today, so that means it's 4 caves. In this situation, caves will sit for a bit, and you really want to be able to draw synergy out of that, not just doing 4 random caves. Sure. And that's what Nartock is working on right here.
Yep, absolutely. Any other caves on the board?
The Duelist. The Duelist Cave, Gale Cave. When you get into Altus, there's some Duo Trio bosses in caves.
Yeah. Okay.
But that is about it.
Yeah.
Rune Bear,
you do have Bofa, right? That is super quick. Should we need it?
Nartock down to 1 HP there, but does survive. Rolls the grab there, very nice.
Oh, well, there we go. He gets it. Okay, that's a good corner square for Nartock. That'll tell Helios that he is definitely ahead on this Liurnia Academy play. Should he choose to go to it?
Yeah.
But I think that Nartock is definitely smart enough and knowledgeable enough, skilled enough to see that he knows he isn't on his way to Liurnia, and if Helios is, I just got to be careful of that column 2.
Yep. And we see Nartock here gonna do a call check and then make his way into Liurnia. We checked in with Helios. He was kind of debating between doing paintings or Red Wolf Academy play here. I think either is a strong option. And actually, we see Nartock there grabbing the crafting kit as well as some crack pots. I think that's very good. Obviously, these players could kill Godskin Noble and well, definitely Noble and Apostle without the sleep pots, but it makes the fight so much easier. And particularly if you're pushed into Apostle early before you'd like, that guy's a menace. But if you can sleep him, it makes the fight a lot easier and just much more beneficial. And yeah, Greatsword. So far, the weapon checks, though, have been a bust. Mariah's Executioner Sword from the Greatsword check and Spirit Glaive from the Halberd check. So nothing really good there. We're going to see Helios here grab this Somber 2 from a Scarab. And then it looks like he is going to go for paintings.
Yeah, which obviously he'll have
quite a lead.
He'll have a leg up on. Exactly. Yep. Right. I'm kind of taking a look over the board right now and just kind of seeing if when I see 3 Crucible Knights, I like to see, is there any Storm Veil a love here on this board? And the only thing that I'm really seeing is Wetblade's Crucible Knight paintings. Am I missing?
Yeah, there's not a lot in Stormveil. I would expect that 3 Crucible Knights square to sit for quite a bit here.
Yes.
I mean, the only synergy is Crucible Knight Duo Tree Bosses in Alta Skelmir. So also I see questions about the randomizer. If anyone is new to Elden Squares Bingo, we do play with a weapon randomizer. So as you can see, all their starting equipment is randomized as well as the starting stats. And then the overworld weapon checks in only weapons and armor, weapons, armor, and spells, not catalysts though, are randomized with some logic to it. So for instance, at the greatsword check, there will always be a greatsword, but it can be any greatsword. Meanwhile, at merchants, if a merchant sells 3 weapons, it will still sell 3 weapons. However, it can be any weapon. It is not it is not like weapon type dependent.
Right.
And yeah, the reason why we put it the randomizer is because it adds, greater skill expression. You have to be able to play with a multitude of weapons, and you have to route in those checks and adapt to it.
Yep. That Helios there hitting that Scarab on his way to the Artist Shack in Limgrave for that +1. In the early game in bingos, it's really interesting to see players work their time, right? Because it's so crucial. Time is really crucial, like super early game, super late game. And if that's something that you wouldn't do if you were rushing paintings. Like right off the bat, the door just opened, you're standing in front of Vare, but he knows that he's ahead due to that Rune Bear square, so he has that extra time to get that somber one to save himself a little bit of change.
Who coaches bingo I mean, I do coaching. Rambler is the head coach. Like almost everyone is helpful. We have certain people who are assigned to be coaches who have volunteered to. We have a massive list of coaches. If you want to get into it and want a coach to help, you can just reach out to @bingo coaches in the Zero Scratch Discord, and they would help you get into the game.
Nartock here at Lascar Ruins.
Yep.
Helios has 2 paintings heading his way. Assume right toward Trap Chest. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So Helios was able to get some synergy and progression while going for the painting square. But the only downside of it is by not hard rushing it, he's giving Nartock some time to make up a potential lead on Academy in Red Wolf.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
Additionally, we see Nartock grabbing some smithing stones here. So smithing stone costs are slightly reduced. In order, like normally to go from +0 to +3 in base game, you need 12 smithing ones. To make smithing weapons a little bit more approachable, you only need 9. And I also really like the smithing route. I think it's fantastic insurance.
I love it.
Because, somber weapons, there is a very limited number of somber weapons that are incredibly bingo viable. And you don't always find a great one due to the nature of the randomizer. There are a lot more smithing weapons that are good, and you're very likely to find, like almost every game, you'll find something that's more than usable in terms of the smithing weapon, but the same cannot be said for sombers. We will see the roundtable check here from Nartock, so this will be the first opportunity to see what is at roundtable. Roundtable sells a ton of weapons, so it is one of the best checks. And nothing really great here. We see Giza's Wheel, which is a decent colossal weapon. Nartock, and that was a butchering knife. It fits Bonnie's. Bonnie's butchering knife is potentially viable, but nothing fantastic.
Yeah, looks like you bought the Battle Hammer, I think.
Yeah, Battle Hammer. Battle Hammer is a very solid somber weapon. It does very good damage and has great poise damage. The only downside of it is normally when you are looking at smithing weapons, status effects in this are super, super valuable. So ideally, you'd like to have something like an Uchi Katana or like that with native bleed. But in the case that you don't have that, Battle Hammer is one of your best options.
Sure, yeah. Helios over here going to go to round table. Also going to be probably a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Nartock grabbing the Spirit Glaive, seeing that ain't nothing there at the halberd check. So although both players might be pleased that there's no dragon halberd there.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to
is
not
that kind of
see.
What you've seen?
I mean, Dragon Halberds in particularly very controversial because it is like by far the best weapon in bingo due to not only how strong it is, but how easy it is to get online. It is interesting to see though when there's not like a super, super OP weapon at halberd check, greatsword check, or round table. Those 3 checks are generally like the 3 meta, like you have to do those every game.
Sure.
And like you already see a divergence in the between the players and their ideas. We see Nartock. Go. Well, Nartock gets Rosis Axe, which is a very solid weapon from the axe check there. But we saw him looking at potentially the Battle Hammer going more smithing route, while Helios went ahead and just got Giza's Wheel, which is a good somber weapon.
And it looks like, Helios might just go with that. Because he's not even going toward Axe Check. He's going to make his way toward Academy Key, possibly Crystalline Woods Grace, and pivot back to Academy. Maybe he goes into EG and upgrades his weapon. I guess we'll see here. But
yeah, so Helios is just pretty happy with that Giza's Wheel, which is a very solid weapon. It's a colossal with bleed, but I would overall favor Rosis Axe. Rosis Axe is very, very good.
It is. I definitely love that weapon. And if you know when to time the Ash of War too, and when to get your extra punishes in and whatnot, it becomes just really effective. And it appears we're going to have a Red Wolf race on our hands, Hoosh.
Yeah, it appears that way.
Back to South Rhea.
And I think this is a very important race, particularly for Nartock here. Helios, if Helios wins this race, not only would he have a 3-1 lead on square count, but also whoever wins this is going to build a bingo threat while blocking one of their opponents, right? Whether it be Nartock Nartock on row 5 or Helios on column 2.
Yep, nope, I agree. And they both they both completely skip the main Academy Grace, which isn't a super helpful Grace because South Rhea Lucaria is right there. We see Helios picking up the Trina Lily. So he's obviously got Godskin Noble on his mind for that Rykard square. He's probably got the Apostle on his mind. Both of them landing the skip. This is exciting. Nartock with that little bit of lead into the schoolroom classroom, Grace, and if they wanted to sit to get a little bit of level or a golden seed or something along those lines, they're both not going to be punished with Melina going to round table because they're already there. But I don't foresee either of them sitting here. I think they have a good internal clock and know that the other might be hot on their tail.
Yeah, it's going to be very close.
Mm-hmm.
We see Helios picked up the magic grease here, so obviously Red Wolf is magic resistant, but especially on this Weathered Straight Sword, which has such low base damage, that magic grease will help you get a little bit more. Nartock as well gets the magic grease. Nartock will be just a few seconds ahead here, but overall this is very neck and neck, going to come down to execution and RNG. Both players with the exact same setup going into the fight at almost the exact same time. Do keep in mind though, Nartock is a little bit farther ahead than it appears on screen because his stream is behind by about a second or two comparative to Helios. But Nartock is in the fight first. And Red Wolf can be a very tricky boss, especially this early. Like, you're intended to fight him with a, upgraded somber weapon, a little bit of stats. Both these guys are, I don't think either of them have leveled at all, so they're both level 9 with a +0 weapon. Nartock gets hit there, and actually Helios takes a damage lead and gets a stagger.
Yeah, so we definitely got ahead here for Helios. This could be depending on what Helios does, should he win this square, it's not the worst thing in the world sometimes to get sniped. It's not great.
And there's the snipe. That was a perfect fight by Helios.
Really?
Oh. Nartock played it well, but I mean it was textbook by Helios.
Yep. You can see the look on Nartock's face. He's definitely a little bit disappointed, but it's not the end of the world here, depending on what Helios does. Nartock kind of feels like he can get something still out of this.
Well, he can. Good. There's, he can still try to snipe wet blades. He can still, the Volcano Manor play. Sure. I think this would be a great, there's 3 different ways to get into Altus. You can either do Makar, Dectus, or the Abductor Virgins. I think this could be a very strong board for the Abductor Virgins play. So there still is value in being in Raya Lucaria, as well as the extra runes that Nartock gets to help him set up his weapon, which will most likely be Rosis Axe for this game. Obviously, though, very unfortunate to get sniped and in such a way, but obviously, maybe a little bit about RNG, whatever, but Helios's fight was textbook. Like, that is,
it really was.
If you want to know how to fight Red Wolf with Square Off, watch what Helios just did over and over again, because it was perfect.
Yep, it really was. Helios having a little bit of trouble on the Celius skip there. Not that he doesn't know how to do it, just a little bit of rough patch there, but he's going to go up here toward Fort Ferrith. Source Seal, I'm guessing, obviously if you're gonna go Source Seal, you might as well grab half Dectus, even if you go Ductor versions anyway. Why go back for it?
Yeah, and I think this part of Dragon Barrow in particular is going to be valuable, pay off later, right? Because of Godskin Apostle and the Divine Tower of Caelid, Radahn's Great Rune,
yes,
Somber 9, all those squares are relatively close to Fort Ferroth here.
Yep, Nartock making his way into EG, probably get that Rosis at +4. He's got plenty of money to do it with the 14,000 for Red Wolf.
Yeah, after popping the balloons and stuff, he's at almost 30k, so he should be able to get this up to +4. I do think Nartock will have a bit of a weapon advantage here. It will be dependent because they are very different types of weapons. But, at least personally, I would strongly prefer Rosis Axe over Giza's Wheel. One of the downsides of Giza's Wheel, so colossal weapons are actually a weapon class that they're all called colossal weapons, but there's two different types within them. There are colossal hammers and colossal weapons. Colossal hammers are the ones that do a ton of poise damage. The colossal weapons don't do quite as much. They do the same amount of poise damage as colossal swords, and that is very noticeable. It's a very noticeable difference. And unfortunately, Giza's Wheel is classified as a colossal weapon, not a colossal hammer. So not quite as much poise damage as you would expect. It's the exact same poise damage as something like Godslayer's Greatsword.
Right. We got Nartock here going toward Bofa. I think this is a good play. I think we're going to see a little bit quicker Hooge of a 4 cave grotto hideout, especially if Nartock thinks that Helios is just pushing those wet blades quickly.
And Helios here is going to grab a Somber 4 right there. Like he's doing a great job. He's already picking up Somber Stones along the way. I think the only one I don't think he picked up the 3, but he has just picked up 1, 2, and 4. Nartock there just quickly destroys Bofa. And I think we see Helios here setting up for Radahn later. Radahn is going to be very strong on this board.
We're going to see Rick here from Nartock, but no fisting.
Yeah.
Who's your no fisting here?
I gotta say, I understand Nartock's concern, but I'm a little surprised to see him push caves here. I would have looked at something like Vike Invader maybe instead. The 4 cave, the down, like obviously 4 caves is a square, and also with Limgrave bosses on the board, you're getting good progress towards squares, but you don't really get anything else out of it, right? You're not getting any.
That's a good point.
You don't get a lot of runes from Limgrave bosses. You're not getting deeper map progression towards Altus in the late game. You're basically just getting square progress.
Right.
And granted he already has Runebear dead, but like 4 caves it's not the quickest thing in the world. It's not like it just 2-3 minutes. You gotta.
Sure.
We're talking about probably 5 minutes or so for him to get these 3 caves down.
Yeah, and this run to Rick is just. It seems like it's forever, especially when you're pushed into a square. You feel like you're pushed into a square. I think him being Helios. I think Helios seeing the 4 caves here, even though Rick is the 3rd cave. I don't think he will be upset about it. He'll know that he is behind on Limgrave bosses. Also, I don't think that'll worry him with the wet blades, so long as it doesn't get grabbed from him. The Somber 9 possibly, that he might, he's got some setup with, Fort Faroth Grace next to Grail, because 8-9 is right there.
And also Helios here was not only setting up Radahn, he was setting up Exegs. I think he very well. We could see one of 2 things. It looks like it's not going to be Exegs. He might actually go for the Red Hot Wet. It could be Red Hot Wet Blade now.
Okay.
To get Red Hot. Red Hot is not available during the festival, right? Of Radahn, so he can go ahead and grab that Wet Blade. Does
he do Crucible Knight duo with Misbegotten now to get a little bit of synergy?
I would be surprised if he did it now, but I would not be I just don't think it's pressing enough to do now.
Yeah. Okay.
But the idea of setting it, of like having it and Radahn set up, so it does take a little bit more time because he'll have to run through Redmane, but you get the Wet Blades first. And then also you have Radahn and Duo set up for later. Nartock here is going to go kill the demi-humans. This will be his final cave.
Head on.
And you can see just how much damage that. If you can, that Ash of War is slow, but if you can land all 4 of the summons, it does so much damage.
There's the 4 caves.
Yeah, like
Helios probably not upset about that.
That other diag is a little annoying now.
Helios is
It should
going
really
in.
be a problem.
I think you're right. He's definitely going to grab the red hot wet blade, or at least I can't
Yes.
imagine he doesn't. And then he'll definitely at least get the grace before the festival / Crucible Night Misbegotten duel, but we'll see if he goes for it or not.
Yeah.
Looking at the board a little more, I think you're right. It's not pressing, but it does have a some decent synergy with it. But
I think this board is
right
really
now.
setting itself up for a Radon race. Like, Radon is just very important on this board, with not only it being a square, but also the Great Rune on the board. Whether you're going Abductor Virgins to get into Altus, that would give you a Altus Gelmir Duo Trio boss, or you go Dectus, set yourself up right near Vike. I do think this Radon play will be very, very valuable for whoever's able to get it here. It looks like Nartock might go ahead and kill the Pumpkinhead. It's actually a fantastic grace in Limgrave, as well as the fact that we do have 10 sorceries on the board.
Sorceries.
And Limgrave bosses, so.
Yep. Yeah, this
Nartock really could be looking at that diagonal, the top left to bottom right.
Yeah, you are right. This will be Nartock's 6th Limgrave boss. Fifth, right? Yeah, I'm sorry. The 4 caves and then
Pumpkinhead. Yep.
And then Pumpkinhead. Yep, that'll be his 5th. And you're right. He might be setting up for some sorceries here. We might see a push to Altus here from Nartock.
No, it looks like Nartock's going to go for Margit. The idea might be to try to snipe Wet Blades from Helios, kill Margit as a Limgrave boss. Also, that's, a lot of runes in a Talisman pouch that you could potentially make use of.
Yep. Opens up the access to a Crucible Knight.
Yes. Yeah, I think Nartock is positioning himself well for later, with the exception of Altus, right? What concerns me about Nartock's line of play right now is, if Nartock loses Altus, or at least Radon in the initial Altus stuff, it could be very hard for him to recover. Nartock here fighting Margit. Helios might be forced into a bad block, Rykard or, potentially Radon's Great Rune or something, but at the end of the day, I think he'll still be fine. Rykard really does hang here, though, because we have no capital on this board.
Right.
So one thing that's normally really good about a square like Rykard is that you're making progress. You're getting a shard bearer down, so that makes progress towards capital.
Yes.
Even though Rykard is a longer shard bearer to go for, it's okay. Additionally, there's typically some synergy with it, whether it be god bosses, because Rykard himself is a god boss, and so is Godskin Noble. Really, it is a very isolated center square.
Yep, it is. There's the Wet Blade mark for Helios.
Now, I would not be surprised here to see Helios just push towards Altus.
Altus, yeah.
But actually looks like he's going for tunnels.
Yep, he sure is.
And this is a tunnel plus a Limgrave boss, but I don't think he would ever expect to actually get Limgrave bosses. He has to know that he's most likely at least 3-1 down on Limgrave bosses. Because there's a chance that Nartock could have done the Clean Rot Knight as a cave, because that is pretty quick. But Rune Bear, he already did Rune Bear, and he's obviously going to do Bofa and Rick as 2 of them.
Yep, for sure. Absolutely. Even though that run down to Rick can feel very long, gosh, the boss is 2 hits.
Yeah, and that's very nice resourcefulness by Nartock here. Getting 9 sorceries, as well as doing the pickup there for his 10th.
Okay.
So now we have a 4-3 game.
And Helios has to, like you were legitimately just saying, he has to know about these 6, the 7 Limgrave or Weeping. So after this tunnel, I don't know. We might see a Fort Height Dectus half here move into Altis, so he doesn't lose that Radon.
Really, not a stagger.
And Nartock here is going for his final Limgrave boss. It's going to be the
It's gotta be
Bellbearing
the
Hunters.
wrong
That'll be the
proposal.
first of his 2 Bellbearing Hunters and
I don't
a
hate
final
this.
Limgrave boss. So we'll go full screen with Nartock here.
Oh, Bernal being a menace.
I hate NPCs. Oh. I got run in there. Fuck you, Bernie. But now it's such a menace, jeez.
Can you just hear Nartok say, hey, Bernal is such a
you.
menace, and he really can
Bit
be.
longer. I wasn't sure if I once micro stagger him, so.
When I was new to bingo in base
That's-
game, I remember Rambler telling me that if I ever go for Bernal to kill him for an NPC or to kill him to set up bell bearing or something, be a little careful. I
Oh,
sometimes, you
sit
know,
again.
you want to make
Sit
sure you
again.
have that +4 or whatever, because he can come out of nowhere.
Yeah, and actually we do see Helios continuing to push tunnels. He's going for the Falling Star Beast here.
Which I also don't hate, because he has a somber weapon. We got the +6 stone.
Yeah, and we have Somber +9 on the board. We'll
Somber
go full
9 on
screen
the
in
board.
Helios once Nartock either wraps this up or dies.
No caster curse here.
And Nartock gets that down.
All
That's
right.
his first Bellbearing Hunter and 7th Limgrave boss. So really good
That's
pressure
alright.
on the diagonal
Get
for
that.
Nartock.
Yes.
Damage is pretty underwhelming so far, I'm not gonna lie.
Who's do you think that Helios knows as we watch
Maybe
this
I've
Falling
just
Star
been
Beast
fighting
fight?
the wrong things.
You think
but
Helios knows
I
that
think
he
it gets much
is
better after
ahead
this.
on the Altis play based on the squares being marked? So he may feel like he can get the last tunnel for the square and then get himself into Altis, or
Well,
what are
he
your thoughts on
is,
that?
unless Nartock goes Virgins, which he is.
Okay.
So this is a risky fight for Nartock. He has very little health, but I will say, Rosa's Axe, obviously you want lightning damage on Virgins, but if you don't have lightning, Rosa's Axe is an incredible weapon against them. They do, just because any boss that kind of just stands there will pretty much just eat the Ash of War, the Tibia summons.
Right.
And they are, I mean, obviously it's not lightning damage, but magic damage is decently effective against the Abductor Virgin. So Rosa's Axe, is one of the better weapons that you can have if you do not have a lightning weapon.
Yep. I like the I like the Virgin's play here, because getting him close to Godskin Noble for Rykard pushes him into Altis to get that festival going for Radon.
Yeah. If Helios loses Radon, I think this could get really bad because Nartock gets
you're right.
Radon and Radon's Great Rune. That's
Yeah, he doesn't
two
sit on the Great Rune. What do
No.
you think?
I don't
Yeah.
think so either. Like, that's 2 squares. It also sets him up well for Somber 9 and Apostle. Plus, Helios then has to go do Rykard for the block, which, we talked about it. It's kind of a dead square.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, there's no economy squares on the board anymore. The only economy square was the 10 sorceries. So the runes, like, obviously nice for levels and stuff, but you can't turn runes into squares on this board. There's no god bosses. There's no Altus bosses. There's no 3 remembrances. There's no capital. Rykard is very isolated.
Yep. You are absolutely right.
And Helios is like really greeting this. I like the play in principle, right? He's getting tunnels down.
Sure.
He's getting a Somber 6. He's getting a Misbegotten
Misbegotten
boss
here.
as well.
Yep.
But
Yep.
if he loses Radon, it's kind of like all for what, because you have to go for Radon. Meanwhile, Nartock can go and continue to work on these early squares. But this is a huge fight for Nartock.
It is.
Like, these Abductor Virgins are not easy.
Yeah, and if I make a comment while we watch this Abductor version fight here by Nartock, Helios did some setup too, right? With like Exikes and, you know, all these other, you know, races that he may have set up. And if he's pushed into Rykard here, like that prep, if you will, for lack of better words, even though it wasn't like incredibly time consuming, has to sit on the back burner.
Yeah, it'll go mostly in vain. All right, there's the tunnels down for Helios.
And there's that first Abductor down almost simultaneously, and Nartock is playing this just wonderful.
Yeah.
But I laugh, Who's, because if you remember back, was it last week or the week before where Nartock, oh, wow, boy,
Okay, that's
I got nervous there for him, where Nartock killed Moog, Lord of Blood, to win the game with like next to no vigor. Was it last week or the week before? I can't remember when it was, but regardless, Nartock is used to playing games without a lot of vigor.
And he's at a Helios. Helios is going for Crucible Knight Misbegotten Warrior duo to finish the 2 Misbegotten bosses and give him a Crucible Knight. We'll stay full screen with Nartock as he tries to finish this out, and then we'll go check in with Helios. Very beautiful fight by Nartock. Great job getting that done. We're going full screen with Helios here.
So for anybody who is watching, Helios cannot mark the Misbegotten square right now as he kills the warrior. Just for anybody who might be new, he does have to finish the fight. So anything that has like kill a boss or kill this and it's a duo, for example, it only counts as this fight. So Helios will have to kill this Crucible Knight, which I can't imagine he struggles with before he's able to mark that 2 Misbegotten square.
Nartock, it looks like he's going straight for Kaled and Radon, and this could, if Nartock marks Radon, man, Helios is in a lot of trouble.
Agreed. Because
I think he played this really well, but maybe underestimated the pace of Nardi here a little bit. May have gotten too comfortable with his Altus lead, and now he's behind.
Sure. And I know we said it before, but I cannot see Nartock sitting on the Great Rune should he get Radon. No way.
Especially because like it makes progress towards other squares. Like you get progression towards the Godskin Apostle. I mean, hell, you could either go up to the Somber 8 and 9 along the way, or just, you know, set up the Grace right outside to make progression towards that. Also, like, going that way in Dragon Barrel, you make progression towards, you know, potentially the Dragon Barrel Bellbearing Hunter.
Okay, that was Scaly. Okay, that gives me good info. Very good.
Nartock for sure knows that was not Leonine and is the duo. There's no doubt in my mind. Helios going up here to grab this Somber 5, which is definitely quicker than the one in Kaled, because of what he just did as far as the duo fight.
Yeah, even though Helios is already in Redmane Castle, I don't think he's been to Fort Height yet, right?
He has not. You are correct.
Yeah, so there's... Helios is already in Redmane and has the Grace set up for Radon, but he has to go too far. He won't be able to make up the difference here on the Radon square unless there would be a pivot for Nartock. That being said, though, Helios does have a lot of stuff going in his way, right? He has, you know, overall better map and Grace progression.
Sure.
He has a +6 Somber weapon, but he's gonna be he's at a 6-4 lead right now, so even with Radon and Radon's Great Rune, that will only tie things up. However, he's gonna get forced into a really tough spot here with the Rykard.
Yeah, Nartock, we'll assume Nartock gets Radon without summons and Radon's Great Rune. I don't know if the play is to try to push Rykard.
It's very difficult because You need to kind of snipe, you need to kind of snipe Nartock a little bit on Rykard, right? Because if you just go straight for Rykard and Nartock goes for other squares, right, you're in trouble. But obviously, you have to win Rykard.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. I agree. But I think all the comments that you made on the Rykard square is so accurate. It is just, I think you said the right word, isolated.
Yeah. And Rykard's long. Like, it's a long run.
Yeah.
You have to get through Godskin Noble. And the Rykard fight itself is quite long. Yeah, if anyone wondering why Helios did not kill Radahn there, he needs to he needs the festival to be on. You only have to, the way to access the festival is either to, well, for bingo, it's get to Altus. You technically can do Ronnie's quest line, but that's never happening.
Right.
Bingo. Yeah.
We're going to see a grace skip here from Nartock.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate that.
I don't hate it. I mean, I don't know. I think it's faster, and Nartock very well thinks he's in a race, and I think
it is faster.
He knows that like winning Radahn is more important. Like, you can always take the teleporter back if you need Crucible and Misbegotten Duo later, right? I think he knows that Radahn, whoever gets it, is at a massive advantage in this game.
Yeah.
And especially for Nartock here, like being down 4-6, if he was to get sniped on Nartock, it would be 4-7, or sniped on Radahn, Nartock would be down 4-7. And like at this level in this type of mid game, right, being down 3 squares is very much a death sentence.
Yep, agree with that very much.
Yeah,
even,
now
even though you have that Bell-Bearing Hunter 1 and you try to get these squares back, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people like Rykard, most of the time these boys do hitless Rykard, but this is, or not, sorry, not Rykard, Radahn, but like
Radahn,
Nartock does not have a lot of health, only has a +4. Like, this is by no means free. And Helios is not far behind on his tail. Nartock did mess up the run back, so he is going to have to push through the arrows.
And he can't summon the boys. Like this play, Hoosh, by Nartock to use Rot, get him rotted, and then switch back to the Sax.
Yeah. Radahn's very weak to Rot.
What?
Oh, Nartock gets hit there and barely survives after the Cragblade buff at the phase 1.5 transition that's coming out right here. I think Nartock will be one-shot to pretty much everything. So Nartock has to do this hitless. Oh, I guess a little chip damage, like that's okay, but not the cleanest Radahn.
And while chat and the watch party watches this Radahn, Helios is in Altus. He's gonna grab this first Altus Grace up here and probably go right down to Radahn himself. There he goes. I don't know about you, Who's, but this is exciting. We're about to see.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very exciting. There it is.
There's Radahn. Helios is going to be in shambles a bit. And Helios does pivot to Rykard. I think there was a moment... It's a tough call for Helios, because Helios could decide to try to kill Radahn and get like just snipe away the Great Rune because he wasn't too far behind. So if Nartock was to sit on it a bit, but no, playing safe, going straight for Rykard. We do see Nartock killing Alexander there to get the Warrior Jar Shard that will buff his Rosa's Axe with the Ash.
Excuse me, vigor for Nartock. We love to see it.
Yep.
And that's nice with, like you said, the economy square being realistically only sorceries on this. You can afford to dump that.
Yeah.
Those runes into vigor.
I mean, Helios choosing to go now isn't the end of the world because Nartock's going to tie the game up at 6-6, restoring the Great Rune. But by that time, Helios should probably be about through Noble.
I was gonna say through Noble, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So like, there's still Nartock will still be quite a bit ahead, and able to pick up the easier squares. But it's not the end of the world. It's not game losing by any means, but not good either. And Nartock's having some troubles with these Celia skip.
And and Helios did as well when he started it off.
Yeah.
Slippery over there.
Helios goes for the cage skip. Very clean. Oh, nope.
Yeah.
Messes up at the end, though. Oh, and he lipped. What?
Okay, so he's just gonna go do it normal now.
All right. Okay. I didn't know you could live that. I think he clipped the end there and just barely lived. Helios needs to be a bit careful here. Only 4+1 flask for Noble, who is a troll for sure.
Yeah,
And Helios really cannot afford a death. He needs to get Rykard killed as soon as possible, so he can go and challenge some of these other squares.
And wait.
Yeah, I think I think the Rykard Great Rune here is perfect. Like this is a board
Focus a little bit.
and a current, like, look at how the board looks, as I used look more than once there, that you do not hold Radahn's Great Rune on here. You want to force your opponent into Rykard. You want to put a little bit extra pressure on that first row. I think holding priority is awesome, but in this particular instance, 49 minutes and 16 seconds through, Nartock's gotta claim it.
And just the fact that it does set you up towards other squares like Apostle. If that wasn't the case, you could argue more so for holding it, but you're not just getting Rykard's Great Rune.
Right.
Or Radahn's Great Rune, sorry. You're also getting progression towards other squares. And Helios is out of flask here.
He is.
Big bleed.
That is a big bleed, right?
And you can kind of see here the stance damage is not what you would expect with this Colossal because it is not a Colossal Hammer. Helios does get a big stagger there. Going to have to go for the backstab. And one more hit will be enough. Helios,
one of the worst fights of my life, but we got
gets it down.
Look at that health.
I think I started running towards Radahn's Rune if this gets marked.
Yeah, I overheard him make a comment about Radahn, so I think he's
mid grounding. He's playing it safe because, to be fair, Nartock could hold Prio on Radahn's Great Rune and go for Rykard first. So Helios is kind of playing the safe, going for Radahn or going for Noble and then Radahn's Great Rune, making sure he doesn't get bingoed. Yeah. But also it does eat up more time, right? I think a lot of this, the efficacy of this play depends a lot upon what Nartock decides to do here. If Nartock does decide to push Noble, I think this is fantastic for Helios. But if he doesn't, it just puts him further behind on the race for the other squares on this board.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
And like there are still easy squares and good synergy, right? Exaltation with duo trio bosses in Mount Gelmir. There's Radahn's Great Rune. Helios will see that, and he might.
Holy. Okay.
He leaves the fight. Who
Yeah.
he leaves
No
it?
more playing games, I guess.
You know, the other thing too is if you remember, Nartock did mess up that Celia skip and stuff, and also didn't already have Fort Faroth. Helios might have gone for Radahn due to the fact that he was expecting the Rykard mark or the Great Rune Restore mark much earlier.
Yes, that's a good point.
Than
Great
it
point.
actually was, because that was, I mean, it was slow, right? Nartock.
Yes.
It was 5.5 minutes between killing Radahn and restoring the Great Rune, which is a lot more than typical. That's due to Nartock not having a good grace for it, and losing probably 20 seconds or so to Celia skip.
Yep, we are going to see a
Exaltation.
Exaltation. Yep, which is it's almost like you've casted a game of bingo or two in your life. It sets him up for one of the 3 duo bosses in Altus Mount Gelmir. Gets him a square. This is a very, very, very exciting game.
Yeah. And he's only one Altus Duo Trio boss away, because keep in mind, he did do the Abductor Virgins to get into Altus.
Right, correct. Yep.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very tight, intense end game here.
Yep.
Looking, Nartock can also make a threat on this row 1. After he does Exaltation, we'll show clear prio on Altus Duo Trio. He could then go for like Vike Invader or Larval Tears.
Yeah. If there's one thing I know about Helios, though, is it might look threatening right now, and Rykard being isolated, and Helios is most likely going to know that that's 2 duo bosses in row 1. If there's one thing I know about Helios, it is not over.
Yeah.
Until it's over.
I will say this Exaltation play does more or less shut down the board, because after Nardi marks Exaltation here, the only bingo left will be column 3, which I would be shocked to see Helios contest because of Altus Duo Trio. And I think Helios can not only know that he did the combo duo as one, the Kindred of Rot duo, but also reasonably assume that Nartock did do Abductor Versions to get into Altus due to how quickly he got Radahn down. We'll go full screen with Nardi here, though. Well, never mind. He dies immediately.
Lost my phone.
Nartock, if you watch this back, I'm not laughing at you, brother. I'm not laughing at you. It was Hoosier's reaction was gold.
Helios, I believe, went to go do to grab the small shield check, so that he can do the pokes on Rykard, because they are much faster.
Yeah, and if not to put you on the spot, but if you could, when we get to like phase 2, if I think I saw a couple of newer people here, if you can kind of explain,
yes,
what Helios is going to do in phase 2 of the Ash of War.
Yep, I will 100% when we get to that. We'll go full screen with Helios once Nartock gets the Kindred of Rot duo down. Yeah, so you can see here because Serpent Hunter is a spear, spears have a unique poke R1 that is very effective against Rykard, and you see Helios making good use of that. Actually, though, Helios doesn't go for the script, and I just realized it when I saw his floss.
Okay.
Helios just ooga boogas him because it's faster.
He did Exaltation.
Well, son of a gun.
Normally, there is a loop that you can do. Rykard's a very unique boss, and he phase transitions after he does 3 attacks that release skulls into the sky, and you can use the Ash of War at a certain spot to loop him. But it is slower. And Helios here does not go for the loop. He likes to just fight him as fast as he can and just kill him before he phase transitions. Because if he does phase transition, you get skulls coming everywhere, and it is a nightmare. Like, at best, you have to run like hell, and it makes the fight super slow. At worst, and what happens most times, is you just get killed.
Yeah. So
me,
I while he's doing this this
rollout of
fight,
that is so bad, dude.
I know that we
Actually
don't
so bad.
rely necessarily on marks on a board, but I do take note of them just to kind of pay attention. Nartock killed the Kumbug duo down there for the Exaltation Talisman, and then scrolled up one on duo trio bosses, and it gives me a little worry, but
Yeah, about miscounting.
I know you don't rely on it, but you know.
Yeah, yeah, that was a beautiful Rykard for Helios.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like it's just not over until it's over with Helios. That's a great like. I feel like there was like no wasted time.
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
I mean,
he
obviously
just went in there. It's
the loop
great.
is safer, but that was textbook. Like absolutely textbook. And like very few players are able to do that. Like everything that he did, like there was the one missed roll, but it was so calculated because you need to time the Ashes of War effectively to stagger him while also making sure, like, to stun him while also doing the poke R1s to actually stagger him.
Yeah.
Because like I said, when basically the way Rykard works is certain attacks that he does release skulls into the sky. Once he does 3 of those attacks, he phase transitions, and if you don't have the blue for the loop, it's pretty much GG at that point. Helios is going for Vike here and actually doing the skip to get to Vike. Very nice job by Helios there.
Yep. And yeah, to comment on Snowy's message, yeah, he did mark it after the Kindred to Rot duo. And again, I'm not saying that he's gonna mismark or anything like that, but those kind of things, like,
yeah,
they get me a little nervous because, you know, I would hate that to happen. And there's already a lot going on with with bingo, and now you got to keep track of squares. And
what we're talking about, just to be very clear, just for anyone who's newer and a little confused, you can see the one next to Altus Duo Trio boss is the blue one. That is unofficial. There is a tool built into the bingo app that allows the players to count their squares. Like count their progress towards squares. Again, it's not official, but it is concerning that he only has one marked, because he actually has 2 marked because he killed the abductor virgins.
He has a blue, a red. Okay, he cooperated.
All right, and there's Vike down for Helios.
yeah,
So Helios
that'll
will
shut down
reassert
that
himself
row
with an 8-7 lead.
Okay. Good anticipation. Nice.
Yeah, I think Nartock's idea was to go for larval tiers here. Also potentially sets you up for Crucible Knights Underground later. Going larval tiers with the hope of like sneaking a bingo on that row 1.
Right.
Helios saw it, read it, and anticipated it. And now Nartock has no bingos available, and Helios only has the middle row, or middle column, my apologies. However, due to the reasons we said earlier with the Altus Duo Trio bosses, that is irrelevant unless Nartock were to mismark or something.
And now we're going to see this Grace setup that we talked about earlier, where could have went in vain had it gone bad. He's going to start to capitalize, for lack of better words, on these races and this setup that he had.
I gotta say, if Helios does win this one, the play of the game has to be that Rykard. That was the best Rykard I've ever seen.
Incredible.
At a time, like, it was so fast and basically perfect.
Crucial point, right? Yeah,
at a crucial point, like, he needed to be fast.
Yep.
And we'll switch to Nartock is gonna murder his mimic. We'll go full screen with Helios here for Exikes. That's 3 larval tiers for Narty.
If he did larval tiers, that's what I thought. Since I get this though, it's not so bad.
I promise you, chat, you're in for a great end game here in this last 58.5 minutes. Don't go anywhere for sure.
And a great game too.
100%.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's Exikes there for Helios.
Okay. All right.
I'm very surprised to see Nartock here going for Crucible Knights with Bell-Bearing Hunters and
Yeah.
and actually Helios is doing the same. This is a never before seen Crucible Knight, but it is a Crucible Knight.
It is.
So Tanith, if you know you talk to her, she's guarded by a Crucible Knight. If you attack Tanith, Helios right here will get invaded by a Crucible Knight.
I like this play.
You can parry the Ordovis Vortex.
Chat, don't go anywhere. You're in for it.
Whoa. This fight is so good from Helios.
He is just...
He's on
He's
another level,
fighting-
right? Like his fights are on another level right now.
100%.
And like, yes, he's getting hit sometimes, but it's bingo. It doesn't matter. And Nartock dies. Like in bingo, it doesn't matter if you get hit. You're not hitless running. It matters that it's fast.
Yep.
Okay, that wasn't too bad.
Agil was great. The only reason that Agil was of the 2 minute and 40 second area was because of the one breath of fire.
Yeah.
Exikes was essentially melted. Rykard was the best I've seen. Red Wolf, for those who are coming in a little late, Nartock had the lead on the Red Wolf, and Helios just played. I think Hoosier said it the best. If you want to see how to fight Red Wolf, watch that fight. Like he really is playing fantastic, and that's not to take anything away from Nartock either, because he is also playing well.
Yeah, like I mean, the way Helios is fighting today is on another level. Like,
agreed.
Genuinely, any other player, like going back to that Rykard, like anyone else, like even like Cronies, like one of the best no hit runners in the world, right? Like he would not have done Rykard as fast. Like that was a very specialized bingo trained. Like this is ridiculous from Helios, and Nartock goes down again. Like anyone else, you push them into Rykard, you're like, I have so much time. I'm good 100%. To go. Helios, and he even with the craziest part about it was like the Rykard was so fast, and he was able to move around and almost did Radon to protect himself.
I know. You're
and there's
right.
3 Crucible Knights for Helios.
Yep.
Yeah, like Helios put himself in a position where it was like, I have these other things prepped, and the idea by Nartock was like, okay, great, like he can prep the other stuff, but I'm gonna force him into Rykard, and then I'm gonna clean up everything while he's spending all eternity doing Rykard, and instead he murdered him immediately.
No kidding.
Except I do think this is gonna be a bit of a snipe here. It looks like Helios is looking at Bell-Bearing Hunters, and Nartock already has one down. He did one as a Limgrave boss, and he's going to go ahead and do the second one here at Church of Vows. So yeah, I mean, this is good. This is great for Nardi. Like he needs this, right?
He does. He does.
A little snipe keeps him very much alive in this game.
Yep.
It'll only after Bellwing Hunters goes to Nartock, which should be the case unless there's a catastrophic incident. It would only be a 1-point game as we go into majority.
Yep. And while we see these bell-bearing hunter fights, if I may, just a reply to unoriginal poster, killing Garank here is something that you have to understand the risk if you do it, because there's feed 4 death root to Garank on the board as well. I'm not saying that Helios couldn't kill Garank, but he's got to know he's behind on the duo trio bosses, and then if he does kill Garank, he'll have to get his other 2 squares from the remaining 5 out of the 6. So,
yeah, there could be a point, like, as we push into the end game where if you're up, right, we could see a Garank kill locking yourself out of a square, because at that point, like, it's in the very late end game. I wouldn't expect to see a Garank kill from Helios, though, unless it's his 12th or most likely 13th square. But we'll go full screen with Narty here for the Bell-Bearing Hunter. Yeah, this snipe is huge for Nartock, giving him a little bit of momentum as well.
Yeah, you read my mind on that for sure.
Yep, and there goes Bell-Bearing Hunters for Nartock.
Fuck me, really? Alright. Time for Somber 9, I guess.
Yeah, so also we have an interesting situation with priority here. Nartock has priority on Altus Duo Trio bosses and Apostle. Helios has priority on Somber 9, though, but Nartock needs to be careful about his priority on Apostle. Like, yes, he is already there at, like, he's in the Divine Tower, but Helios has to go to the Divine Tower area for Somber 9. We could see him grab the stones for Somber 9 and then immediately take Apostle. And Nartock right now only has a +4 Somber. And even if he is slightly ahead, Helios will very likely win that.
For sure, because I would like to think that if Helios does do that, the last, and he looks like he passed up the sleep.
Well, it might be duelists here for these two.
Yeah,
it might be a duelist race.
If Helios does go for that Somber 9, I would like to think that +7 stone will probably be the last stone he gets, because he'll get the 8 and the 9, try to go for the Godskin Apostle and the Divine Tower of Caelid, and then pick up that 7 by the Abductor version past Godskin Noble.
Yeah.
I don't think the 7 stone is a priority. So I think Helios grabs the Third Church America Grace to do the skip into the duelist in Caelid, which is a one-time shot. For anybody who has seen DLC Bingo, it's very similar to fighting Hippo after going from back section. But if you die, you then have to go the normal way, for lack of better words.
Mr. James, you're just demanding attention right now, aren't you?
Looks like Nartock's doing the same, getting this third church.
I think Helios is ahead on duelists, though. And Nartock's actually going towards the Bestial Sanctum.
He doesn't kill Garank here. There's no way. He can't. Am I wrong?
What, kill Garank?
Yeah. I might be wrong. I am wrong.
This has to be a mistake. He has to just be misreading. He has to not see the feed death root. This is a very...
Okay.
Oh, man. Is he doing it because?
I mean, maybe he's worried about Helios going for Deathroot, like Somber 9 into 4 Deathroot into Garronk. Like maybe he's worried.
Oh, bro. What am I doing? Now I'm out of it or what? Fuck. Okay.
I mean, regardless, I think Nartock's just blindsided by the like.
Is he bingo blind? I mean, he's got two.
No, I don't
duo
think he's. I don't think he's bingo blind. I think he's just a bit out of like he looks a bit rattled. Like I really think how fast the Rykard was just rattled
I think
him,
you're right. No, I definitely think that you are very accurate in that. I think the turning point for Helios, because the game has kind of been on that like teeter totter, right? And that Rykard kill was just
because the plan was clearly for
wonderful.
Nartock, like sack a bit of early game, like you'll be a bit behind, but you're gonna send Helios to Rykard and you could make up time.
Yes.
That is not what happened. Helios like got the Rykard way faster than he anticipated.
Right. Yeah, so we'll see the two. Oh
What?
man.
I'm playing shit now. Oh fuck. Losing my mojo. Oh, he's putting.
So we'll see
Yeah.
he opened up Helios opened up the Duelist Cave. He's gonna port back to Third Church America. He's gonna do the skip over, and he'll.
You can hear
take
the
light
frustration
work of
from
the Duelist.
Nartock. Like, I think the biggest thing for him is like, this is a set. Like it's not. It's game one. He needs to recover, like mentally, right? Because it's not just about this game; it's about the next game, right? Yep. Like at this point, after the Garronk mistakes and like you're being forced into this, like once if he does kill Garronk in Helios Marks Duelist, it's basically like it's. I mean, because Helios, you're just giving Helios a square by doing this, right?
Yeah. And this Duelist goes down.
Yeah, I just think for Nartock, like he's clearly rattled. I've never like seen him this rattled, and he needs to
damage is piss.
You know, talk to himself and get his mojo back going into game number 2 here, because Nartock very clearly can beat Helios, but he needs to be Nartock. Like Nartock can be Helios, but Nartock needs to be Nartock, right?
Yep. Well said there. So I'll say the same thing. I'll say the same thing about Nartock that I said about Helios. It is not over until it is over. I just think that the Garronk kill here will feel it.
Yeah.
Just because you're giving up a square. You know, I don't want to be negative Nancy over here.
Yeah. Because then Helios just needs Somber 9 and he can take all day to go through Deathroot. I mean, the only bright side of being in this situation, if you're Nartock, where it's like, okay, I've lost, like, because once Helios gets to 12, if you have Garronk dead, it's game over, right? Like, Helios will need to finish out the square for continuity's sake, because, you know. But, like, it just gives Nartock extra time to, like, mentally prepare himself for the game 2. Like, it's possible he just decides to, you know what, I'm just going to step away and go get some water or whatever. Right.
Okay, nice.
I mean, Helios is going to be ecstatic about this.
100%.
He's locked out of Deathroot. That means this... If I get this, I win.
Yeah, Helios made a comment right there.
Yeah.
About, you know, him being locked out, and if he gets this,
he wins.
He wins, and
like he will have to finish it out for continuity's sake, like because it's but it's over. I mean, I think the hope was for Nartock was that Helios was working on Deathroot anyways, and you can't lose Deathroot and Garronk. So taking Garronk, basically like making a read on what Helios was doing at the current moment.
Right.
because Nartock does have clear priority on Altus Duo Trio in Apostle, right? So in Helios has clear priority on Somber 9. So it would make sense for Helios to go for the squares that are, you know, up in the air. Those two squares being Deathroot and Kill Garronk. Nartock taking one of those away from Helios by killing Garronk, but in the process, it was just the wrong call. You know, it's a difficult spot. Like, you know, you got to try to make a play to come back, and it was just the wrong one, unfortunately, for Nartock.
Yeah, and Helios here is going to grab this this Somber 8 and this Somber 9 over here by the Godskin Apostle in the Divine Tower of Kaled, and I would assume that he just goes for the comfortable play, right? I know it's lengthy.
Yeah, no, you just go. You
just go Deathroot, right? You go Death Touch Catacombs and kill a couple of Tibia Mariners with his plus 9.
I mean, I guess to be fair, the game's technically over regardless, because Nartock can only get to 12 squares, and in the case that it was to go to overtime and then the additional 15 minutes, so the way overtime rules work is game is capped at 2 hours. If players are tied after 2 hours, there is an additional 15-minute period. Next square wins. If no one marks a square within that 15 minutes, then whoever got to the tying number first would win. So since Nartock has no ability to get to 13 squares, like it is game over. Yep. Like I said, Helios,
I'm gonna write down
for continuity's sake, we'll finish it out. And well, Jay, I might have you DM me your questions, because keep in mind we will not do a post-match interview after game 1.
Oh yeah, for sure. I will, and I'll take care of it after. But absolutely. Yep, I'll take care of that after. I just want to write them down now, because the way my brain works is I want to ask. But yeah, I will.
Yeah, so that, I mean, yeah, Helios will finish us out, just gather 4 Deathroot relatively easily. And, Nartock just has time to think, to gather himself, right? Like I said, I don't know what you do in this spot. Like, this is dependent on the person, right? Because the game's over. You have options. You can, hell, if he wanted to get away from his chair and go eat some food, I wouldn't blame him. Maybe he wants to practice some bosses or, something, just whatever he needs to do to get his mind right. Because he now has, this time as Helios is finishing this out, plus the 15 minutes or so in between game 1 and 2, to get his mind right for, a do or die game. Nartock will have to win game number 2 to force a game 3 on tomorrow. Regardless, though, Nartock's season will not be over. Even if he loses this game, he loses this set, he will still be in the 3rd place match and have the opportunity to play for money, right? Because there is there's a cash prize for 3rd place, but that's not Nartock. Can't everyone at this point who is in this league is playing to win. 3rd place is a nice consolation prize.
Yeah, hats off to Nartock too for playing. I think he read that mid game well. He didn't play terrible at all. Couple of decisions that were iffy, but I think I talked about it last week when I was commentating that it's easy to sit in our seat. Well, easy for lack of better words, to sit in our seat, sit in the audience and chat and whatnot and see both screens, and you're not in the heat of the moment. But I don't think he played terrible at all. Couple of unfortunate deaths.
No, I don't think so either.
But how can you, I think you hit the nail on the head with the Rye card, especially with that. I think he wanted more time to do more while the Rye card play was being made by Helios, and Helios said, give me a minute, I'll shut this down in 30 seconds, it feels like.
At this level, unfortunately, it gets this way sometimes, where it's like, there are some games where just like your opponent plays so well and you just, all you can do is shake their hand and say GG.
I agree.
like this
Yep.
is one of the best games overall I think I've
Fight-
ever seen, like from Helios in such a big spot
Fighting
too.
especially.
Yeah, like I think, you know, if you're Nartock, you just need to say, you know what, I know I can beat this guy.
Yes.
He played incredibly well and
Yep.
won that game. You know, there was in this game one, it would have been hard for anyone ever to beat Helios. He played that
Yep.
well.
did.
So I think you just say, you know what, nice job. We'll get.
I'm coming.
You know, he's
I'm
not.
Coming
I'm coming
game
for
two.
you in game 2.
Yes.
You know, it's unlikely
Yep.
that it's unlikely that Helios is able to produce this level of a performance again. It just was so perfect.
Oh, for sure.
But you know, just prepare for game 2 and go win that thing because you can.
Yep.
We will go full screen with Nartock here as he kills the Apostle, though. Yeah, I mean, Helios did a late board, and it's going to be under an hour and 30 minutes here.
I know.
While his
No
opponent
kidding.
is getting, like, the square pace in this one is just insane. Right?
Yes.
And also, because it's not like he did this many squares like in isolation. Like he was getting sniped, and Nartock was taking away squares from him.
Right.
It was just an insane performance from Helios. Simply
Yep.
put.
I mean, let's look back to when Nartock and Helios were going towards Radon. You and I both. Hey, if Nartock gets Radon here, it could spell trouble for Helios.
Yeah.
And it's just it was just really awesome, you know, awesome to see. You know what might have helped too is what you mentioned, who's about the whole Nartock did not have the trap chest Fort Faroth or anything, so it took Nartock, it wasn't that long, but it took him a little bit longer, right, to get to Dragon Barrel for the Radon's Great Rune, which allowed in that time
Bro doesn't stagger.
Helios killed Godske Noble.
Bro does not stagger. Huh?
It's a good apostle kill by
Yeah.
Nartock.
Nice.
Very nice Apostle from Nartock. Hopefully that can help him build some confidence because that was a very nice
Agreed.
kill from him.
Green.
Also, for game number 2, I want to say, Jay, you were fantastic. Great job on commentary from game 1. And please,
thanks.
again, send me those questions, or
I will.
if you're
I will.
around, we can bring you in for the post-match interview once
Sure.
game 1 and 2 are complete. But,
Fantastic.
you know, you did an amazing job today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll be joined by Durf, Dandy Durf, the Durfamous, for game number 2
Durfamous.
here. But appreciate the hell out of you, Jay. You were
Yeah.
wonderful.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I'm ecstatic when you mentioned it yesterday for this game, because I
should've
knew
just
it
done
would
that, to be
I
honest.
knew it would be a great game, Who's, but I didn't think it would be a late game board
Real.
played in an hour and some change, and I loved it.
There we go.
And that will be the final death route for Helios. Now he'll just go feed them to Gronk, and
Yep.
that'll be GG.
That'll be it.
Now we just gotta give it to Gronk. I mean, I already won when I hit Somber 9, so I'm not super afraid right now. I have to keep reminding myself that, though. It's so ingrained. For getting 13.
Awesome.
There it
What a game.
is.
Very excited for game 2. Nartock, I know you can't hear me right now, but get up, stretch your legs, go get a drink of water, focus, and
Really?
come back and win game 2, man. Because you didn't play terrible at all. Wait till you see what Helios was able to do. So,
Yeah, we're done. Thanks for the
or I guess
GGs.
what he did is
Next game is in
better
20
said.
minutes. That's a little longer than I thought, but that works.
Yep. Next game. Oop, let me get Jay's actual face up here. There we go. Yeah, so next game will be Nartock needs to go walk his dog. So next game will be in 20 minutes instead of 15. And like I said, we'll be joined by Durf and get this all turned around. But, incredible game there from Helios. Like, really, one of the best performances in the biggest moment. Like, that's what this guy does. That's why he's a champion. And, for Nartock now, like, it's first time he's ever lost a playoff game. And now all of a sudden you're thrown into another match against Helios with your season and everything you've worked for on the line. He can do it. We know he can. We'll see if he does. Because it'll be a great game too, and cannot wait for that one. But Jay, before we say goodbye to you, you have any closing thoughts for us, whether it be on the game or whatever you got, whatever's on your mind?
Nope. I just thanks for having me. And I'm excited to watch this next game. And Nartock has all the ability to tie it up 1-1. However, I will say that of all the people to be down 0-1, Helios would certainly not be my first choice. But he can definitely come back and make it 1-1. Thanks, Who's, for having me. I appreciate it, and hope everybody enjoys game 2 with the Durfamus.
Well, thank you so much for joining, Jay. You were incredible. Great job, man. And go enjoy game 2. You deserve it, and I appreciate you for being here. With that
I'll
being
drop
said,
down to the refs. And thanks, man.
With that being said, we will be back in just a minute here. Again, I will be joined by Durf, and cannot wait for game number 2. So stick around. We will be right back, and thank you all so much for watching. Game number 2 between Helios and Nartock. If Helios wins, he will advance to the finals of Elden Square Season 2. If Nartock wins, he will force a game 3 tomorrow. And here we go. Durf, center square.
True Scent Duo.
I will go with Moog, Lord of Blood.
Always praying for that square. Me too, hopefully. Damn.
5 bosses in Caelid Dragonbarrow is a center square, so that's a very interesting one depending on how much you can synergize it with. But we'll go ahead and take a read of the board looking at the fast squares. Immediately, Crimson Cerulean Viridian Medallion, that's going to support Weeping, also gives you another starting class option because you can start with the Crimson Medallion. But we have Falling Star Beast, which is a very quick fight, and Valuable. We saw how strong it was for Helios getting the early Somber 5 and 6 on the board, and you could do the same here. In row number 2, 3 NPC Invaders can be fairly quick. Not one of the fastest squares, but a rather quick one, as well as 4 Memory Stones, giving you good synergy with Liurnia, Progress, and Red Wolf. In row number 3, we have 3 pretty quick ones. Blue Dancer Charm and Bloodhound Knight while Summoning Blight are 2 quick Limgrave squares. Additionally, Take Raya's Hand to Volcano Mariner, not the fastest square in the set, but a fantastic progression square. It is one of a very few number of squares that you can get, like basically like Altus progression allows you to get a square. We all know how valuable Altus progression is in Bingo, so being able to get a square at the same time makes it even more valuable. Bottom row, or one up from the bottom. Avatars, Liurnia bosses, that's really strong synergy. Also Smithing Stone plus 12, so we could potentially see the Makara route. And if Invaders get saved for later, maybe Eleanor Invader synergy. And finally, probably the 2 fastest squares on the board here are in that final row. Both Tree Sentinel plus 0 and Boss on Torrent. Tree Sentinel plus 0 is not only very quick, but also gives you that halberd check. It is one of the most important fights in Bingo, because that score is almost an auto contest, because if it is Banished Knights plus 8 or Dragon Halberd, that can swing games. I would expect both players to race for that. But after that one's marked, look for Boss on Torrent, look for Blue Dancer Charm, potentially Falling Star Beast. It seems like a very interesting board, and we do have a good amount of late game too. We have Morgott and Ritual Sword and Ritual Shield in Capital. We have the Graven Ghost Gulfport Bellow Bearings promoting Underground. But yeah, and 3 Remembrances, Somber 9 as well. But looking like a very different board to last game. The late game is more capital focused, and there are more early game squares as well.
No, yeah, absolutely. I've counted. There's 8 Altus squares, and that's kind of around the border of can you get away with getting to Altus and still, have a dominant early game, or should you prepare early? So I think in this board, I see them kind of prepping Altus a little earlier than usual, since there's 8 more than 7. That's the way I like to play games. And but I think for early game here, I think there might be an interesting play with column 2, because all that is really early. Just getting a square on column 2 is going to be important. So I think they're both going to rush and do Tree Cent +0 only, and then I could see whoever gets that square trying to get Blue Dancer Charm, because it is a cave as well, which also synergizes with Cerulean Crimson, Viridian Talisman, if you do Rune Bear, and the flower as well. So that it could be an interesting Weeping synergy there if players want to do that. There's also an Avatar in Weeping too, Sacred Flask +6. So I'm seeing a potential of there could be a Weeping rush maybe, but sometimes that is bad, so you can get a little behind.
Well, we will see what the players decide to go for here. Like I said, I do expect a Tree Cent race, so we'll go ahead and get the hype music on right away. It is just too valuable to leave behind, because if it's Dragon, like if one player goes for it, the other one doesn't, and it's Dragon Halberd or Banished Knights +8, I mean, good luck.
GG's. Yep.
Also, both players starting with the same class. They do have the Longsword with Square Off and that Divine Beast Helm, which significantly boosts their stats.
Yeah, so they're going to be pretty set for when they need a good weapon that they're needing to prep for later, or right after the early game. So,
and as I would expect in this spot, both of them are all in. Neither player grabs first step.
Here we go. It's all about who knows the Square Off tech better.
I think this is huge for Nartock if he's able to get this, after losing game 1, getting early momentum and knowing that this will be a snipe. I mean, this comes down to a little refinement. It's so important. Players have practiced this. It's a bit of RNG, but also, knowing when to crouch to get your stamina back, knowing when to drink your blue and heal at the right time.
Helios did get hit there.
Helios did get hit, but Nartock gets hit by the shield slam, does survive.
Helios is saying he thinks he lost the fight, but he doesn't know that Nartock got hit.
Yeah, Nartock got hit hard.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and Nartock goes down.
What?
Oh, right, and that's right when
way.
Helios marked the square too.
Gaming.
Oh.
That was slow.
And it is Banished Knights +8.
Oh.
No, and also Nartock goes all the way back to Stranded Graveyard here because he didn't grab first step. Oh god.
Yeah, that's worst case scenario.
This is a brutal start for Nartock.
Yeah, that's rough. So Helios is gonna have pretty much a guaranteed first 2 squares without any snipes that are gonna be coming his way, which is very, very unfortunate for Nardi.
Yeah, that puts Nardi in an all. I mean, this is worst case scenario.
See, yeah, like that's the thing, right? Like you take a risk, you don't grab graces, you just go for speed. But then if something slightly doesn't happen going your way, you're going all the way back, and it's just risk and reward. And unfortunately, you saw too much too much of the other way that time.
Yeah, that's why Tree Sentinel is so important. I mean, it's a square that I've pushed for the removal of. Because of how strong it is. I didn't end up going through. It's like if you're playing Weapon Rando Bingo and you have Tree Cent in the square set, you gotta be damn good. You gotta be real damn good at it.
Like you can't get hit once, you can't make any mistakes, you gotta skip graces. Like that's where it's come down to. And like as you saw there, just even if Nartock maybe didn't he literally, to beat Helios in that fight, he had to like not get hit once. He had to go hitless, and that's just where it's at nowadays.
Yeah, and I think the other concern here is obviously like Nartock loses game 1, and then, I mean, that is genuinely worst case scenario for the start of this game. Like, worst case scenario, you don't grab the Grace, you lose all that time. Helios obviously doesn't know Helios has a weapon, but he has a weapon. Like, obviously it's early. It's early doors, right? Like, this game is by no means earlier or over. But, you know, you do like to see the player losing game 1. I do like to see them get a nice start to game number 2 because I think it's so important for the mental. And the exact opposite happening for Nartock here.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like Helios might be thinking either NPC invaders into Blue Dancer Charm or getting NPC invaders on the way to Blue Dancer Charm. Or he's just thinking Blue Dancer Charm. Okay. So that's what I thought. Like, right, Tree Sentinel +0 into a Blue Dancer Charm puts a lot of threat into column 2. And maybe he goes into Weeping after this. Oh, he's not even going down there.
Yeah. Just setting it up.
Just setting it up. Okay. Well, yeah, like that is Healy's got the absolute best weapon you can get, I think.
Yeah.
At least for early mid game, like he has such an advantage now on everything.
Looks like Nartock here is gonna go for boss on Torrent.
Fuck.
Yeah, Pumpkinhead can be a little kind of horde. Yeah, you gotta watch out for that double attack there. Interesting. Helios going for...
Helios is going for boss on Torrent at the tibia, but he's gonna get sniped.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I've seen that tech before.
It's a very old play. It's a very old school play.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Really?
When Bingo
okay.
was a lot less optimized, that was a potential idea. Was doing that boss on Torrent.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It is an easy boss, yeah.
Also, Steak, thank you so much for the resub. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support. And we do see Death's Poker from the Greatsword check. Honestly, that's very big for Nartock and a bit of a saving grace. Death's Poker being such a strong weapon or easy to get online, it's not going to allow Helios to run away with Banished Knights +8.
Yeah, exactly. I think Nartock's plan of action now would be just let Helios kind of get the early game squares that he wants, set up, do something about column 2, and just start focusing on end game because like get Death's Poker online and just start thinking about the end game a little more and start preparing stuff while Helios focuses on the early game. Yeah.
I mean, I think Falling Star Beast could be a good option here for Narty. Square Off is going to do really well against Falling Star Beast. And it will allow you to get the +5 and 6. We saw how impactful that was for Helios in game 1 in a very similar spot, because not only do you get the weapon advantage early, but we also have Somber 9 on the board. So that means that the Somber 5 and 6 for that square, you don't have to worry about getting those later if you do end up going for Somber 9.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Falling Star Beast is a good play. We'll see if he ends up getting the Rot Grease to help him out with the fight. I've noticed a lot of players doing that lately, grabbing the Rot Grease and then going into the fight just for like extra protection.
Yeah, it's borderline.
So we'll see.
I don't know what's faster in this spot. I know if you have like for instance, when we were doing the Falling Star Beast speed runs, like if you have Confessor with the broadsword, it is faster to just go straight in and kill him. Obviously, you do have a longsword, which is the same type of weapon. It is a square-off weapon. But the damage is a bit worse on it, the overall damage. Plus, that Rot Grease does so much. I did the math on it. It does 1,000 flat HP plus like 16%. And granted, that's over, it's either 60 or 90 seconds. And if you get the full thing off, it ends up doing over 40% of Falling Star Beast's health. Yeah.
40%. Oh my
Yes,
gosh. I didn't
it is
even know
crazy
it
strong.
was that effective. Holy shit. Wow. And it looks like Nartock is not doing the rock grease. He's just going right in there. He has one flask left. Like, this is going to be a man play. A big boy Narty play if he can pull this off.
Helios having some trouble with the Blue Dancer Golem. He gets the stagger, though.
Hello, any lock on?
Did he die to Blue Dancer?
No. He
Oh,
just was struggling to get the initial riposte, but that will pretty much do it. He needs one more hit. So we'll go full screen with Nartock here. I mean, this is very tough. He's under huge pressure. No heals left already.
Okay,
He
that's
lost
fine.
them all in the cave.
That.
Nartock's going to have to be pretty much perfect on this, and he knows it.
Yep. If he does get it, it just shows you the confidence he's had.
Yeah.
How much. Okay, I do not want to curse him, so I'll just stop right
Yeah.
there. I'll just shut up.
And this is by no, like, I know the bingo players sometimes make Falling Star Beast look easy, but this is by no means an easy fight. This is, you are not, like, the intention of the game is that you go to Celia, get your ass beat, and then leave and run away. That is the game dev intention. Instead, these bingo guys, you know, they have random stats, random weapons, whatever, and they just go in and kill this guy.
Yeah.
And make
Just
it look
ridiculous.
easy.
Just ridiculous. Like, even for me, who's been practicing a lot of bingo and stuff, like, this fight still scares me to this day. It's just, it's never a not scary fight.
Helios is working on
nice.
invaders,
Seems
by
like-
the way. He just killed a nasty Anastasia.
So, Helios might be thinking force Nardi into weeping and go set up Altus. Like,
Nice.
Wow.
he might
That's
be
good.
thinking that.
Okay.
I mean,
that's not
amazing. Just amazing,
Amazing.
from Nartok there. Yeah.
A perfect Falling Star Beast for Nartok when he
It's not lost.
absolutely needed it.
Hitless. Like, didn't get hit once. Just beautiful.
Ah, wait. I should get this grace, I think. Yeah.
I'm trying to, give me 1 second, my mouse stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, Nartok is back.
I haven't lost.
Back, Ellie. He is back.
How do I block this?
He means business this game.
Yes, maybe.
You can see it on his face and the outfit he chose for today. He's got that rock mentality. It looks like Nartok is going to go get the Somber 6 now and set up for Death Poker +6, which is going to be huge.
All right, mouse is
Huge
back
weapon
alive.
advantage.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. No worries.
Yeah, so this will be Helios' second invader.
Alright.
Yep. And just putting an automatic threat on column 2, like,
It's very uncool. when I
that's
press
the
button,
issue
but
that I saw.
I get a little scared.
Early game, like with
Whatever.
Nartok, I was hoping he could get something out of column 2, but the issue is if Helios goes straight from Tree Scent to Blue Dancer Charm, it's just like, what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah. Now, Nartok did actually start with the Crimson Medallion.
Oh,
Yeah. So he does. Granted, the
I did
crim
not know.
of the 3 medallions, the Crimson one is the easiest to get. It's either from a merchant in Weeping is where the medallion is, or you can get the dagger from the injured Black Knife Assassin. But you know, minor time save. But Nartok already started with it, and however, I think Nartok is going to get sniped here. He's working on invaders, looking to do Millicent. You know, the only good thing about this is though, Millicent drops a fair bit of runes. Nartok can use those to get online here.
yeah. It also is Eleonora as well.
Yeah, this is Eleonora, right?
This is a square into column 1. Just kidding. Jokes. Inside jokes.
Yeah, Durf may in the qualifiers for Elden Scrolls Season 1, Durf may or may not have killed Millicent and then marked Eleonora. That may or may not have happened.
Good times. Good times. Good
All right,
history.
so Durf does get Millicent down, Nartok does get Millicent down. But unless Helios has a major issue here, which granted this fight
Yeah.
isn't going great.
Nartok, this will be his second snipe, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And Nartock's gonna go to round table, it looks like. Well, maybe he'll skip out, but
Right.
I think he's going. Yeah, he's going.
No,
Oh,
he's
no, he's
skipping.
not going. He is skipping.
Nartock's going to see the invaders mark here.
Wait.
Oh, Nartock is shocked.
Fast up. Okay.
He's a little shocked. I think
Helios
he
sets
has-
up this Grace as well for caves. The Patches Cave.
Yeah. I think Nartock is thinking Weeping, yeah. He's going Weeping now.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, it's caves. So, yeah, there's really only 3 squares for Weeping, but Nartock has to do those 3, or two of those squares right now. And, yeah, this is just going to put him even more behind.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Because
Well,
meanwhile,
it looks like Helios is going there as well, too.
Well, Helios also could be working on Bloodhound Knight while summoning Blide.
Oh, true.
Looks like Nartock's also going to kill Yura here to set up. But Nartock's fat rolling right
Jesus
now.
Christ.
Nope, he's just leaving.
He just bails.
Yeah. It sets up Eleonora and is a katana check.
Yeah. I think it was a good play. I think he was thinking like it's on the way. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Both are headed towards Weeping. Our Nartock is not.
I hope Nartock isn't going for Bloodhound Knight. No, goes to Stormhill Shack.
This is, oh man.
I mean, I don't think it's a horrible call to call Helios's bluff here and just ignore the column for a bit.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's
because-
thinking.
Yeah, like if you get bullied into Weeping too early, Helios can just run away with this thing. Not to bring up bad memories, but we kind of saw that in your game against Dino, right? Like you played that game so well, but Dino forced you into Weeping, right? So
And that's not fun. That's not fun.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize how far behind Weeping actually does to you until that game. I was like, wow, the Weeping did do that to me. He got like 3 squares when I was over there.
Yep.
But so I think what Nartock is thinking though is like, I'm not going to go to Weeping right now, but I will try and get a couple of squares that do protect me defensively on column 2.
Mhm.
So I think he might just be like, all right, let's go to Lernia and set up Graces and get closer to those avatars while still getting map progress, which I think is a smart move. I think avatars might be his way out if he, like in his head, like if Helios did decide to go to Weeping, like, yeah, his out's going to be avatars. So I think it's a good play. And
he can go get a +6 Death Poker. Plus, if he does do avatars, this is a play that Helios has made twice this season already. The avatar in North Liurnia, kind of by the Dectus Highway, or the Dectus Lift, that one drops the Magic Shroud Cracked here, which does just buff your Ash of War damage by like 20%, because your Ash of War is pure magic damage. It is
that's good.
Incredibly strong.
Especially with Death Poker too.
Yeah, with Death Poker especially.
Wow. That'd actually be perfect for Nartock right here. And like that's the thing, like is Helios even going to check Greatsword check now that he already has a good weapon? Like I don't even think Helios will get that benefit from killing the avatar, because it looks like he already has Sword of Milos. I was just looking at his inventory, so he might be thinking that later game.
Well, we'll see Bloodhound Knight or something Blide here from Helios.
Come. Ow.
And I think when Helios gets this square, I think Nartock will be happy because he'll be like, okay, he's still in
Limgrave.
He's still in Limgrave, and I have a big head start on Lernia. So I think he'll start planning around that.
Okay. Hmm. Alright. That's still +0, I think. Yeah.
I just heard Nartock. He's like, he's still +0.
Yeah, I mean he's right. Like he hasn't upgraded yet. It just happened to be
Oh,
Banished
no.
Knights +8.
Oh, yeah. Like that's the thing. Like when you play bingo, you don't know what your opponent got or anything. So
Yeah.
in any game where +8 isn't dropped, yeah, he would be correct. Helios would be doing all these squares with +0.
Yeah. That's why Tree Sense is so valuable, right?
Yeah.
It is so valuable.
Yeah, like I think like Nartok was getting a little greedy with Tree Scent and just like try to get that final kill, but like you have to be safe. You have like even if you lose the square, you have to still kill that Tree Scent, even if you lose the square. Like that's more important than dying.
Well, he got hit by that big shield slam, and you saw him just go aggressive and just say, you know what, I'm just not gonna get hit. Because to be fair, like the level's high enough that like if you back off to heal, you will lose the square in almost every circumstance, right? So he decided to not do that, and he played the ultimate price.
Yeah. Oh, and Helios does do great sword check, so he does know that Death Poker's there.
But Nardi's Death Poker is up to +6, or either +5 or +6. He might have not had enough money to upgrade to the final +6.
I didn't. I was watching Helios' screen. I didn't see. Yeah, it looks like he might grab the Grace in this cave and then go to the Avatar maybe. And then like that's something I would do, just double prep the line. But it is possible he might just go kill the Bloodhound Knight down here. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
My guess is that he wants to grab the Grace and then go straight for the Avatar in Liurnia, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, he's not changing his camera. I think he's gonna go. Yep, he's going. Okay. Yeah, it gives him a cave. So. Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, you've never seen this skip before?
What the heck?
Yeah, very nice skip by Nardi there.
Dude, what have I missed? When do you guys figure this stuff out? Like, is this what you guys do late at night? Like, figure out these skips?
Dino found that one.
Dino found that one?
Yeah.
Dude, that is so fast.
You don't see it very often because there's another skip in this cave that like is way safer and only a few seconds slower.
I know that skip, yeah.
Yeah.
I know the safe one. I don't know that crazy crystal one.
Yeah, the crystal one's kind of finicky, and it only saves a few seconds over the safe skip.
Okay, so I'm guessing you've tried it.
I didn't know about the safe skip somehow, so I did do it in like the all bosses speed run back when I was doing that.
Oh, you did do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I've had to retire from that category. Some guy from some runner, it was like China or Japan or Korea. It was some runner from East Asia. It's an immaculate speed run. Like he routed he one cycled Bale with Death Poker. I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like I'm cooked. I'm cooked. I can't contest this.
You can't contest that, dude.
My target, my goal time was over an hour slower than what he did.
Dude, that is crazy. Like I just don't know how you can optimize something that much faster than like your opponents, you know? It's insane to think he did it an hour faster than your run.
Yeah. Oh no, it was like 2 hours faster than my run. He had optimized
2 hours.
He had optimized every single fight. Like he was switching between like Death Poker and Starfist and a jump attack build with dual colossals. Like it was insane.
I just don't know how you can stay like mentally that sharp for I don't know how long the run was, like 8 hours or 6 hours or whatever. Like that is insane. I don't know how someone can do that. But I guess with Death's Poker, anything is possible. That weapon is just taking over the glitchless speed
Yes.
categories for Elden Ring. Helios just said he doesn't like the way he's playing this game at all. But I think he's just getting in his head a little bit.
Yeah, my time was like just under 9:30, and he did it in 7 hours and 54 minutes.
Dude, like
Yeah.
that's nuts, man.
Anyways, though, enough about my former speedrun glory that I basically got because no actual speedrunners ran the category. Nartock here is pushing into Weeping. This will give him the Crimson Cerulean Viridian Talisman. And also, another cave. There's potentially an idea here, to force something on row 1. Granted, 10 flash charges is a very easy snipe, but like a very easy square to get with if Helios wins Altus. But if he can somehow force force Helios into Morgoth, that could be incredibly strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, what else is in Capital?
I mean, there is a good amount in Capital, but anytime you're able to force your opponent into Capital,
Force your opponent that late game,
maybe
yeah.
sooner than they were anticipating, it's good. Because we
Yeah.
do have Morgoth, we have Ritual Sword, Ritual Shield. You could potentially even do an Avatar in Capital, Somber 9 in Capital, 3 Remembrances. Like, there's a lot with Capital. It's not super isolated, but it could just give Nartock a bit of respite here as he works towards some of the other earlier squares and tries to come back. I agree.
Yeah, row 1, I didn't even notice that until you mentioned it, just how it could be very, like, forcing Helios into panicking a little bit. And that's honestly how you beat Helios. You have to make him panic until the very end. And scaring him into doing a square he doesn't want to is perfect. But yeah, nice block there by Nartock. Ended up doing Weeping, which was
Caves is now a problem.
which was good. It just gave Helios a lot of time though to catch up on map progress.
Yeah, and Helios just said Caves is now a problem. I also think Nartock's just going to go for Caves here. He's looking at the Clean Rot Knight cave. This will give him a cave and a Liurnia boss.
Yeah, I like the play, especially it being a Liurnia boss as well. I think very well done. Yeah, also the Bloodhound Knight was a Liurnia boss, so
yeah,
this Liurnia cave play actually not too bad from Nartock. Like, instead of just going to Weeping first, getting the Liurnia progress and getting his weapon online was very heads up from Nartock.
Yeah, and then he can just go to Bofa to clean this up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really good play.
You just need to be careful, though. I think the Altus race is going to be very important on this board. Raya's Hand, as well as 10 Sacred Flask charges, are kind of to just literally get to Altus squares. You don't have to kill anything. You just need to get to Altus.
Right.
That could be really strong for whoever does get it. The other thing too we haven't mentioned yet, Helios could just go smithing. Like, he does have Death's Poker, but he also could just go smithing weapon plus 12 using the car to get to Altus. That would give him a Liurnia boss as well as smithing stone plus 12 along the way.
Yeah, that's true. He only needs the 4s, right?
Yeah, he needs. I think he got the 3s.
He needs 3 3s and the rest 4s. Yeah. Okay.
I think he might have already gotten the 3s though.
Yeah, he got the ones I think on the way to EG. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be an important square because Nartock is kind of secretly building up, I would say, row 4 as well, with Sacred Flask plus 6 since he's already in Weeping and Liurnia bosses. So getting smithing plus 12 off the board would be a very good thing for Helios.
I think Helios is going to do... There are a bunch of 4s in this tunnel right here, the Magmaworm tunnel and Caelid. Helios might go for Smithing Stone plus 12 just with this tunnel. Granted, it's nothing else really except you do give yourself a Caelid Dragon Barrel boss for later, but getting that Smithing plus 12 square on the board.
That's Helios saw exactly what I was talking about. He's he's very aware of row 4's like potential of being
Yeah.
dangerous for late game. So getting plus 12 now is very good decision since he has Banished Knight plus 8.
There's caves for Narty.
Yeah, very like to come out right. Seeing the plus 0 snipe and then the NPC snipe and then coming out and forcing a bingo threat right away. Very good play by Nartock. Like this is what makes him so dangerous. Is he comes back at you with a bingo threat, even though he just got sniped twice, right? Like he's very aggressive.
And Nartock here is actually looking to move towards Liurnia bosses, going for Royal Revenant here.
I'm telling you, yeah, he's. I think his idea, right, was to secretly set up row 1, but then go for row 4. Actually, like in my head, I can see Nartock doing something like that, but Helios saw that before Nartock.
Yeah.
They're playing mind games.
A little surprised he went for that now. Also might have been a case of like, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with the current moment. I know I'll probably need to kill Royal Rev at some point, so let's just get it done.
Yeah, exactly. And with the plus 6, yeah, with a plus 6 Death Poker, yeah, the fight's going to be cake.
Yeah, despite a disaster start, Nartock has really found a footing in this game.
Yeah, like, I'll never doubt Nartock. Like, he always crawls his way back somehow. That's what makes him such a good bingo player.
Mm-hmm.
Just always crawling, always scratching, always trying new things.
And he might be looking at sorceries. This would build some potential on the column 1, but more importantly, block the row 3.
Yeah, I think he's yeah, who knows if he's thinking to build column 1 or just for the block. Probably thinking both, to be honest. But yeah, this is a good play as well. Why is Helios killing? Oh, it's a Kaylee boss. I was like, why is he killing that one?
It's a Caleb boss, and he came in here anyways to get the Somber 7, and since it's a cave, you can't warp out, right? So I think he just figured kill it now.
Yeah, okay. I forgot there's Caleb bosses as the middle square. It's right in the middle, Derf. It's right there.
That was spooky. Really?
But yeah,
I
good
lost my
awareness
stamina,
from
but
Nartock
that's-
to get sorceries. Because clearly Helios is thinking of killing
No
bosses
row.
right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Helios sits down that Caleb boss. Nardi there grabs the Sacred Tier and is making his way up to Fort Faroth. So he's going to go Dectus here.
Yep. And I wasn't watching, but how many Sacred Tears did Nartock grab in Weeping? Did he just grab 2?
I didn't see, and he doesn't have anything. He doesn't upgrade any flasks yet.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
Helios got plus 12, just like that. Nice job.
Nartok still has the weapon advantage. Still has a good weapon advantage. Like plus 6 Death Poker is a
Yeah.
big advantage.
Yeah, I think Helios has the Grace at EG. I think so. Or maybe he just grabbed the Memory Stone one. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he has EG. So he's at a plus 4, whatever he's going to use to upgrade.
Well, he might just use Banish Knights.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've used... I played bingo games where I've used Banished Knights plus
Yeah.
12 with Frost the whole time. Like, it's not bad at all. So yeah, I could see Helios sticking with it for a while.
Looks like Helios here might be setting up to go hard into Kayla Dragon Barrel bosses. Nartok here looking at potentially avatars. Avatars plus Liurnia bosses. Very surprised neither player is making significant progress towards Dectus at the moment. I just think Raya's Hand and Flash Charges are so valuable.
Yeah, I
As well as
agree.
like there's a lot of other squares in Altus you have that are quick. Eleonora's fast, like, and then eventually you have the Hero's Grave. Eleonora also synergizes with +6. And some other things. Like, I guess it's not the most valuable because of a lot of the Altus square, like the Altus squares are either very early Altus or very late Altus.
Yeah, exactly. And I think right now, I think both players might be just prepping the map. Prepping just, or yeah, just getting stuff along the way because this is a memory stone and avatar for Nartock, and
Yeah.
then Helios is. So yeah, we're in a good mid game where they're prepping and just getting stuff and just waiting. I think they're both waiting to see what the other player does, kind of thing. Which is what you kind of usually see with high level players. They kind of wait to see what their opponent does
Yeah.
and then pounce at the last second.
Looks like Nartok here is going to go for the first avatar. Helios heading towards Fort Faroth.
Oh my gosh. Death Poker just destroys. Got
Yep.
that.
First one down.
One down. He has one prepped, and just needs to get the other one prepped.
Yep.
And he's looking pretty. Oh, and he's going for Sacred, the other Sacred tier up
Yeah.
here as well.
Yeah, looking at +6 here.
I just heard Helios. He's thinking of doing Raya's Hand next.
I think it makes a lot of sense for him. Builds,
Yeah.
you know, he is potentially looking at Caleb bosses. They really see his progress all over Caleb. Andy has that Magmorn down. Granted, Nartok does have Falling Star Beaststead, but also, you know, that Raya's Hand builds a massive threat on row 3 and another strong threat on column 5, as well as just being like such a valuable square. Squares that promote you, like squares that you can acquire while going to Altus, are incredibly strong. It's one of the reasons why the Dectus Medallion square is not in our set. It was just simply too strong of a square. And to be fair, Raya's Hand is kind of like Dectus Light. In another one of those very strong map progression squares.
I like it. I like having that because it right, if you need Volcano Manor as well for a game, for a match, it gives you another option to get there. So
Yeah.
I like this square a lot better. But yeah, Helios definitely paid attention to your advice, right? Like, get Altus set up, get the late game set up. And he's going to be sitting a little better for these easy pickup Altus squares, while Nartok is still working on row 4 blocks. Yeah, I think Nartok is a little scared of row 4, so that's why he's doing like 3 squares synergized with each other.
That is the second avatar there for Nardi.
Nardi making progress. Nardi.
And now he'll go for sorceries, I think.
Yeah. He has enough money. He's got 20,000 runes. He should be set.
Yeah. I want to say, regardless of the outcome of this game, I'm already very proud of Nartok. That was a disaster start after a loss in game 1. Very easily could have snowballed out of control for him. Yet here we are, 5-5 game. Helios with a map advantage, but Nartok with a weapon advantage.
Yeah, I mean, amazing. Like, it's no wonder why it's so hard to beat someone like Nartok, because he just doesn't give up ever. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He something happens to him. He flips it around. He's like, I'm gonna attack even harder now. Like, he doesn't ever have that, like, oh man, I'm gonna lose this game now mentality, right? Like
Yeah.
he tries to flip the script and is like, I'm gonna go aggressive and push
Mm,
this line now or do this now. And so that's like a big thing. Like if you're trying to get better at bingo, learn from like that mentality, just super aggressive-ness.
yeah, just don't
Something
give up. Yeah.
I need to work on, like even myself as a
Especially
bingo player.
if you're new, or like if you're at like a beginner intermediate level, like there's like even at a high level that we've seen this season, like there are times when people skill issue, right? I mean, last game was a bit of an exception because Nartock was locked out, but like the game's not over till it's over, right?
Right.
Um, anything can happen, and you need to keep playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's cool to see it in progress, like just clawing your way back from a terrible start and just making it work, you know?
Hmm.
It's really fun and cool to see. But yeah, Helios just made it to Altus, so
Yep.
he's gonna have like clean pickings with Eleonora, Raya's hand, like flash charges, so he can just take his time
Yeah.
and set up Altus and do those squares if he so chooses to.
I wonder if he goes for Raya's hand first, or if he rather looks to do Eleanor and Flash charges first. Raya's hand obviously being the fastest, but reason being is that Nartok has serious threats on column 1 and row 5, or column 1 and row 1.
I think he's looking at Eleonora because
Yeah.
it's also a Sacred Flask +6
Yes.
synergy as well, with some seeds on the way. Um, if he doesn't go that route, I would be surprised, but I think he's headed that direction.
And this will
there's
be
Hero's Grave. There's Hero's
Yeah.
Grave too, so he could get the Grace past Eleonora after he kills Eleonora. Yeah, so I think that's the best play.
And this will be Nartok's last overworld memory stone. He can get the final one in round table.
And Helios, okay, I was like, and he's not listening to us. Sorry, what did you say about Nartok?
This is just his final overworld memory stone. He just needs one more at round table.
Oh, okay. And I think Memory Stones is a good square to get for Nartok because it does block the Altus heavy lines like row 2 and column 5.
Yeah.
So I think getting Memory Stones was also like a strategic smart square to go for Nartok. Something I saw at the beginning of the game, like if you get Memory Stones, you pretty much block anything, any bingo idea from your opponent who wants to get a bingo in Altus.
Yeah, because all of the unclaimed squares on row 2 in column 5 outside of memory stones require Altus.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess technically you could do 3 remembrances with Rykard, but let's be real here. That's not happening. Yeah.
Who knows? After last game, Helios might do it just because he feels hot. But yeah, Helios is just setting up all Voltas right now.
Yeah, he's going for the charges.
Okay. Which is smart. It just sets up everything.
There was mem stones for Nerdy.
So Sacred Flask is safe, is what that means. And so is Raya's hand into Eleonora, probably.
So Helios just said he thinks Sacred Flash charges is safe. Like,
Yeah.
Nartek hasn't been going for that, but I think he's about to mark it after grabbing this one right here, maybe.
Well, he might decide to go for Raya's hand and Eleonora first, because those squares are more snipeable. If Nartok was, let's say, if Nartok hypothetically already had Dectus, right, he could snag Raya's hand from you, but you have enough lead on Sacred Flask charges. I think it makes sense here to grab this Grace and then pivot back for Raya's hand.
I agree. But it's
on
good
the other
because...
hand, or just pivot back for Eleonora, because to be fair, Raya's hand is purely a majority square. All the bingo lines attached to Raya's hand have been blocked by both players already. So it doesn't do anything for you in regards to building a threat. It only just is one more square getting you closer to majority, which, you know, obviously this game very well might go to majority and probably will, and that's something you need to consider. But on the other hand, you can't just ignore the bingos, right?
Right. Absolutely. Like, You can't ignore the bingos, and that's exactly how Helios plays. Very defensive player, and he's currently blocking row 1, and then I see his next play after this is to go Eleonora, just to block column 1. You know, as a defensive mindset, that's something that would be really good to do. And also, in his head, would build row 4, but Nartock currently has progress on those in row 4. But I think that's what Helios will do. He'll do flash chargers into Eleonora, which is just the smart play.
And Nartock might not be aware that Helios is already in Altus. Like most of the time, if there's Raya's hand on the board, the second you get into Altus, you're marking Raya's hand like immediately. Helios
exactly
didn't. So Nartock is probably not expecting that Helios is deep into Altus at this current moment, because normally when someone gets into Altus, you would see Raya's hand.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's only 60 seconds or so out of your way once you're already in Altus, right?
Mm-hmm. Does Nartock have Altus access right now? Or I know
he has Fort Faroth Grace. No, he's way behind. He has Fort Faroth Grace.
Okay.
I don't think he has either half of Dectus yet, though.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, he still has a while to go.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what Nartock does now. Like, is he gonna start prepping Altus or?
Well, there's Sacred Flask +6.
Because we do both Kaled bosses.
Yeah.
Now. Do I do Kaled bosses or Eleonora first? I definitely.
It is. I have no idea. Like, I see what Helios is gonna do, but it's hard to tell what Nartock is gonna do now.
We're 1-1 on that. Alright.
Okay, he's going to Avatar.
Yeah, Nartock is going to
Avatar?
finish the last Avatar. This is also a Kaled Dragon Barrel boss.
Oh, it's a Kaled boss. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is a good play. Yeah. I guess with Death Poker, like, +6, this thing is just squishy. It doesn't matter.
And it gives you so much money.
Yeah. Oh my god. It makes the hardest avatar just look like a play toy.
Like, Nartock's having some vigor problems right now, but those will all be alleviated once he gets this avatar done.
Oh, I didn't even notice his health bar was so small.
Yeah.
That is interesting how he just does the tap L2 and just lets it explode.
Mm-hmm.
That's
well, you don't have
that...
time to get off the full Ash in a lot of spots.
Right.
And
yeah, when I was using
very clean.
This weapon is
that was so
dumb.
fast and clean, yeah.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
I'm cooked.
I mean, Helios just said he thinks he's cooked. Death's Poker has been Nartock's saving grace here. Helios choosing... Death's Poker's so strong, man. Helios choosing to go Banish Knights, like, over Death's Poker is...
Helios? See,
I mean, in hindsight, like, earlier on in the season, I think a lot of players would have chosen Banish Knights over Death's Poker. Like, I don't think it's an insane take, but I think Nartock is proving here that we have severely underrated how good Death's Poker is. Like, every time we see it, it's just so damn good.
Yeah. Like, if you know how to use it, is with an explanation, like a little asterisk. Like, yeah, you can use the weapon and get it to +6, but you have to know how to use the Asher board correctly, just like what Nartock did. Like, just tapping the L2 just for it to explode once and then backing away.
Yeah.
And it just builds up the frost damage so quickly. And just knowing those little things with Death's Poker is so important. But while we were talking about Death's Poker, I heard Helios, and like he just said he's cooked and like that he's panicking a little bit. But he has no idea how far ahead he is in Altus. Like he probably doesn't know that like he's just so far ahead progress wise, while Nartock still has to get Fort Height, still has to get to Altus. Sorry, Helios just is just panicking right now. And
I mean, this is very interesting. Like Helios hasn't marked a square in 16 minutes. And am I missing anything? No, all bingos are blocked. Helios has no bingo lines left.
okay, so he's
Nartock-
doing Rise hand now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nartock still has row 1 available to him and column 1 and column 3 available, as well as the bottom left to top right diagonal. So Nartock
Yeah.
has 4 bingos left. Helios has 0, and he's down 3 squares.
So yeah, I could see why Helios would be panicking, but I guess from our perspective, it just like right now it would be a 9-8 Helios game technically, like with all
Yeah.
the Alta squares he has like prepped, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I can see why you're panicking too, because like Nartock's square pace has been very insane recently. Like he clearly has a monster. Like Helios knows he has a +6 DP, and I think he's realizing that like his Banished Knights just simply cannot compete with that.
Right.
And he also knows that Nartok clearly has some Liurnia and Kaled. Boss is dead. Yeah, I mean Nartok Helios is in a game that at the start really could have ran away. Helios could have ran away with it. Like after the first 5 minutes, I was worried we could see like a 13-5 win for Helios, just where Nartok just didn't have it.
Yeah.
But
Just scratched his
instead,
way back.
yeah, I mean, Helios is closer than it looks, right? Like
This is actually going to
yeah.
be. This is actually going to be like, I think Nartok's going Eleonora right now, and if Helios does Rye his hand, I don't think he's going to be able to get Eleonora. Maybe.
And
Like,
Helios
it's gonna
is
be
spinning
close.
flash charges too.
Yeah. I think okay, he got flash charges.
Yeah, there's the flash charges.
If he goes Eleonora right now, it would be
He's gonna go
a
Rye.
really good
He's-
play. Like he can get everything.
He's going right his
Just clean
hand
chip.
first. Nartok still has to kill Yura though.
Did Helios kill Yura?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't realize that. Okay. Yeah, that's right. I forgot Nartok bailed early.
Yep.
See, Helios thinks he's killing Radon now. Like he thinks he's a lot farther ahead in Altus than he actually
Yeah.
is. Let's see what Nartok
Yeah,
decides to
if
do
Nartok
here.
goes Raya's hand here, that's huge. Nartok's decision right here really is influential for Helios.
Yeah,
If Nartok goes Raya's hand, then Helios should be ahead on Eleonora. But if Nartok goes straight for Yura, he can make up the difference on Eleonora or a lot of it. And it looks like Nartok's not going to commit to Raya's hand.
he sees flash charges marked, so he knows Helios has got
Yeah.
super deep Altus progress, and so I think he's eyeing Eleonora right now. And I think he'll get it because
Yeah, so Helios brings it back within 1 square. Like the Eleonora is going to be very close.
it is going to be close.
Because
He still has
Helios
to kill Yura,
already
though.
has Yura dead. He also, like, the spinning strikes. This is spinning strikes on the Banished Knight's Halberd is going to be one of the few fights where Banished Knights is just as good as, if not maybe even better than Despoke, or at least similar. Because you can, if you play it properly, you can stun lock her.
And yeah, he didn't grab the Grace near Yura when he walked past him.
Nope.
The one near Weeping. What is that one called?
Seaside Ruins.
Yeah, he didn't grab Seaside Ruin, so he has to go.
The only thing is, Helios here does not have a ton of health. Nartok has a bit more. Helios will have probably 1 free shot at this, but if there's a death, Nartok will be right there.
Yeah, and Nartok has HP now, so they have about the same HP, so it's going to be pretty even for the fight. And Eleonora can easily 2-hit them. To
Yura also
to kill
dropped
them.
Dragon Hunters. Oh no, Nartok or Helios got Dragon Hunters elsewhere. Not sure where
Oh.
he got it, but he has Dragon Hunters. I assumed it was Yura, but no.
Probably Magma Worm.
Yeah, Magma must have been Magma Worm, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Helios took some weird
Yeah.
routing to get here.
He
Nartock is like not far behind, and Death
Helios
Poker is a
admitted.
better weapon against NPCs than you would expect because you don't do the trail R1 on the Ash of War that you see against bosses. You use the explosion. That being said, though, it's very good against them, but it is slower because you can't just perma-stun them. You kind of knock them out of the way.
Dude, this is even.
This
Pretty
is
close.
even.
Yeah. And Dust Poker's just gonna melt an R2, but spinning
The thing
strikes.
is,
Look
yeah,
at it.
spinning
Look
strikes,
at it.
you can just bully her.
Oh my god.
Yep, she
Oh,
can't
never
do
mind.
it. Yeah, you can just bully her. And this is gonna be bad for Nartock too, because he's gonna see the square marked and while he's in the fight.
Yep.
Fuck.
And
I
just
think
like
he
that,
might just
Helios is
die
back.
here.
Helios is back. Just like
I
that.
think he probably should just die here.
I have to kill this bitch.
He said he has to kill this bitch.
Well,
That's what he said.
to each his own. And he only has 3,000 runs, so I was like, I don't think it really
Yeah,
matters if
I
he
would have died.
dies.
I would have been like, just kill me. But yeah, I think that was played perfectly by Helios. That Rise hand into Sacred Charges, or Sacred
Yeah.
Charges into
Okay.
Rise hand into Eleonora. Just enough to snipe, absolutely snipe the bejesus
Nardi.
out of Nardi. Yeah.
And it's now an 8-8 game. Helios going for Caleb Dragon Barrel
Until
bosses.
I get a stagger, yeah.
This is
And
Helios's
then I get
second.
Actually, spam jump attacks is what I wanted to say. And then I get
Yeah, he did
strikes.
Magma Worm. Second, yeah.
I think I need to be pretty close by now. Yeah.
How much
perfect.
does Nardoc have? 2? Is it 2?
Nartock also has 2.
Okay, so they'll be tied here.
Yeah. Nartock has the other avatar in FSB.
Okay.
Oh my god. don't
Oh,
die,
he's gonna-
please.
How? Wait, what? How did he avoid that flash? Oh my god. Helios just new tech.
How did
So
he not
scoped.
die there?
That was
Helios coming out on top of the avatar there.
I think Helios will get Caleb Dragon Barrel bosses. Earlier on, he did set up more graces here. Looks like he's going to rush straight for the Pumpkinhead duo. That'll be his third.
Yep. And honestly, if Nartok ends up getting Kailer bosses, that's pushing Helios to Lindell. That would be pretty crazy. On column 3.
I mean, Landell's going to be
that's why-
crucial here. Like, you could, like, you have Morgott,
You could just,
Remembrances,
yeah.
Ritual Sword, Ritual Shield, Somber 9. That's 4 Landell squares. Like, that's
Really?
12. If someone was to claim all 4.
And I guess it is kind of time to start thinking of that. It is
Yeah.
pushing endgame now. So yeah. And I think Nartok sees that, so that's why he's going to kill
Yeah.
Radon.
I fucking
And
hate
Radon
this
also
fight.
sets you
I
up
don't
for
understand
it is a Caleb boss, but I think Helios should get this. But it also sets you up for the Graven Ghost Global
Find
Bell
out.
Bearings.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to kill
This
Radon
actually
to
is
get
probably
access
the-
to one of the Bell Bearings.
The Radon, I think, is the best play for
Great.
endgame right here. And good on Nartok for noticing that.
Yeah. If this does go to game 3, I mean, my God, what a game that'll be.
I hope it does, man. I mean, look at this game. 8-8.
Yeah.
Nartok clawing his way back. Helios sniping Nartok on the last square. I mean,
Yeah.
these two were made for game 3. You know, like they just complement each other so well when they play, and
Yeah.
you can see it here today.
Like, outside of those first 5 minutes, Nartok's been lights out.
Yeah, and he had to be. You know what I mean?
Helios has played quite well too. I just think he underestimated Death Poker, choosing to go with the Banished Knights +8 over it. Obviously now it's +12, but Death Poker is insane. It's so stupid.
Yeah, and that's gonna be for like the end game bosses like Morgott, Goldfree. You know, it is gonna come out on top for those late game bosses. Death Poker will,
Yep.
especially if you can get that to +9 in Altus or in Lindell before you do those bosses. It's just gonna be insane.
Yeah, like Nartock's gonna take nearly as long as on Radahn as Helios is on Battle Mage Shoes.
Never thought anyone would say that in a bingo match.
And the thing is, like this, I mean, look, Helios had the option, chose not to go for it, right?
Yeah.
And that's a
Cycle.
one cycle Radahn. No,
Not bad.
also I stand corrected. Radahn was faster than Battle Mage Shoes.
God damn.
Oh my god, and it
It's
was
D
Dragon
Halb.
Halberd at Halberd check. Neither player checked it. It was D Halb the whole time.
Oh, I love it. I love it. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's how crazy the meta's changed. Like, the top players don't even check Halberd check anymore.
Well, they normally do, but Helios just... I think it's fair in these spots to take some risks, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Helios thinking, you know what, I got Banish Knights +8. If it's an otherwise dry seed, I'm scot-free, right? Didn't
Right.
go that way. And I mean, you know, you could say the same thing for Nartock. Nartock just said, to be fair, he kind of had to because he was down, but he just said, screw it. I have Dust Poker. It's very good. I'm going to run it.
Right.
And quite honestly, when it's set up, Dust Poker is probably better than D-Halp. I mean,
Yeah,
this thing's
honestly,
stupid.
man, it is. It really is. And like, Helios is probably thinking like that Banished Knight +8 advantage he had didn't last long at all because of those 2 checks early. And
Yeah.
you know, like he was kind of right. He got advantage for maybe 10 minutes, and then after that, or maybe less than that, 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
like
And
the
how many
two
KO'd
cracked weapons are right after.
How many KO Dragon Rare bosses is Helios on?
Did Battle Mage, Magma Worm,
Battle Mage, Magma Worm,
Avatar,
Pumpkinhead Duo, Avatar. So this
is his final one.
This is his final one. This is
and it's a
Nartock's,
Catacomb.
This is Nartock's 4th.
I'm surprised he chose this one over the Cemetery Shade one, because it does get him closer to Radahn too. But I mean, he did do the Avatar, which was close to this, but
Yeah.
I don't know. He's probably thinking it's a race. And it is, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, if Nartok is not far away, like Nartok's gonna go for the Cemetery Shade Catacomb.
Yeah,
Unless
I
there's
just
a
don't think he's-
blunder, Helios will get this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, he has to get this first try because of the Cursal Darts. So.
Yep.
Fuck, I messed up. He's dead.
And he gets one. Okay.
Not the best management of the Watchdogs there, so Helios does have quite a big health bar to chew through here, but should be fine.
And this will be back-to-back bad snipes, too, by Helios. On Nartock, like,
Yeah.
we'll see what this does to Nartock's psyche, but
I mean, Helios will take a 9-8 lead, but Nartok is much better positioned for the endgame with Nardoon dead. And he's also gonna... He should still do this for the Catacomb, right?
Bro, really? Ah, fuck you, man. That's what.
love those reactions.
Yay. Okay.
Nartok is not happy, Durf. Not happy.
I have to pull the
The
lever.
disgust on his face was
Yeah.
subliminal. Subliminal is the right way to say that.
You mean...
Yeah, it's rough, man. Back-to-back snipes, like calling out his plays. It's just
And Helios is going now for the Catacomb and Altus with the Watchdog that will give him... I can't remember if it's the Grave or the Ghost Globe or Bellbearing, but one of the two.
Should have done this before.
I don't know which one it is either.
I think it's Grave.
I think it's Grave, yeah. It would make sense if it was Grave. Yeah, so I mean, good play by Helios to kind of just get this out of the way now. But it could be a reverse bad snipe from Nartock because he already has Radon killed. So if he goes straight for this square, it would be a huge time loss. But it looks like Nartock is not doing that.
Nartock might just clean up the Liurnia bosses here.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, though, going Red Wolf and Renala into Liurnia bosses is not a bad call.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Because that would
Didn't
give
even
you
think of that.
Liurnia bosses and capital access.
Capital access, yeah, that is... like, he would have clean pickings in capital, and that's a
Yeah.
remembrance, too.
Or just kill if you're worried about the timing, you could kill Smaragd while you get the key, then have Red Wolf be your 6th, just so you're not holding that square for so long.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think Renala is the play here for Nartock, honestly. And then try and get 3 remembrances with Morgott.
Yeah, Nartock is gonna go for Smaragd here.
So Smaragd into bowls, I'm guessing.
Still not stagger.
All right. All right. One more left for Nardi here. Going to Bulls. Yeah, I just don't think this is
14K,
the
this was right.
best synergetic play for
Extra
Nartock, but it
lives,
is
24K.
fast, I guess, to get the square. It kind of wastes time towards capital, but he does already have a, he already has a remembrance down, so he is already ahead.
Yep.
On
And Helios
capital.
is in with the Watchdog in Altus. This will be his 2nd catacomb and give him one of the bell bearings.
It'll be interesting to see what... I'm guessing he's just going to do an easy catacomb. I guess what's the fastest one? Duelist? He might just do
Duelist or Black Knife.
Yeah.
All right, there's Liurnia bosses for Nartock.
He did Liurnia bosses, okay. Got probably combos.
Okay. I think he might be thinking Global War now. Or Hero's Grave.
Wrong grace, motherfucker.
Yeah, if he gets bell bearings, this is going to be bad. Bad snipe.
Helios is up against it. We've seen
Oh, yeah,
we've seen him
Go
in
ahead.
a lot of end games, right? Unlike Nexus, he doesn't necessarily blow players out early. So we've seen him in a lot of end games, but I think this is the first time all season we've seen him in an end game where he's not ahead, right? Like normally when we see Helios going into an end game, it's like he's under threat but still comfortable. This is not comfortable at all. This is 50-50 at best, if not advantage Nartock.
Absolutely. What Helios needs to realize is just how important, and he does, hopefully he sees it, how important capital is. And
Yeah.
but I think doing catacombs right now, I just don't, like, that's the only square he has prio on, but he's getting rid of it now, or is he just he's getting rid of it now. So I think Helios is just, like, you need to prep more for endgame here.
Yeah. I mean, he'll
he's
take
just
a
not doing
square
it.
lead, but he's going to be behind going into endgame with a potential 4 squares in capital, right?
Yeah, and like you can't.
Honestly,
Like, if
he's
Nartock
kind
gets-
of lucky Nartock isn't just full sending capital.
Yeah, honestly, because there's 4 squares right there,
Yeah.
and that's GG's. You know. Well, I don't know. I don't know what. I guess that play by Nartock just kind of shook Helios a little bit or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he's making the right calls and continuing to snipe him, right? I'm sure Nartock would have loved to parlay this into Catacombs, right? And get double value out of it.
Yeah, it is still in his head. But if I'm trying to think. Okay, so if he goes Radon right now, and then he'll have access to bell bearings for later. Like, Radon is the play, I think, right now for Helios.
Helios is going for Radon. He's gonna go to Fort Gale and take the teleporter
Oh,
Radon. Yeah, that's why he
doing.
set. That's why he set it to night. The archer that sits outside Fort Gale, it'll snipe you even like off the ladder if it's daytime. But if it's nighttime, he has significantly reduced vision and just can't see you as well.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even realize he didn't even go through the tunnel by falling star piece. I'm like, is this so? Yeah. This is the closest he is to that area.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of have to do that to get over there. So I think that's why he kind of held back on Radon, because he was so far away. Okay.
What?
So I think if Nartock goes and finishes off Ghost Lower Bell Bearings,
it should give Helios enough time to equalize on Capital.
Absolutely.
So Nartock will equalize the game. It would be 10-10, but priority towards the final squares would be relatively equal. The only exception being Somber 9, because Nartock already has a +6.
True. But Helios also is further in Altus as well. Yeah.
I still think Dust Poker is so much faster, though. I expect it to be enough to make up a difference. Like, even if it's level, right? And I would give massive advantage to Nartock, because like both these players are so good, right? Mm-hmm. As you get closer and closer to the skill ceiling, like you can't outplay at this level. You just cannot outplay a significantly better weapon. Unless Nartock makes a huge mistake and dies.
Exactly, and I think the Draconic fight is really going to tell us, like, how much of a weapon difference Dust Poker is compared to the weapon that Helios has.
Also, guys, remember to stay with us. This will be the last game. Game 3 will be tomorrow. I'll make an announcement once that's scheduled, or either tomorrow or the next day, as soon as possible. But we still have a Crucible matchup after this in the quarterfinals. Snowy versus Lorien. So stay around for that one. It will be a great game.
Absolutely. Can't wait for the Crucible matches, man. The playoffs are turning out to be pretty epic, honestly. Do you think Nartock would do Moose as a third remembrance?
No.
Ever in this situation? No?
No. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to say never. There could be a situation where it somehow works out really weird and you don't go for it, but highly unlikely. I'll say that.
It would be... It's like, you have to think of it, I guess, as like Mimic Tier and Moose compared to Margit and Godric. And I just think Margit and Godric's so much faster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but also you need
because of Morgott,
two great runes. You need two great runes to get in there, so that makes no sense actually.
Yeah, like Morgott's guaranteed to be your third remembrance at minimum.
Yeah, Moose is a terrible idea. I don't know what I was thinking.
I mean, it's plausible, but you need some really weird things to happen.
Yeah.
Helios in here on Radon. So actually, we were wrong. Like Nartock was able to get bell bearings and is still behind on. And is still ahead of Helios on Capital.
Yeah, and I don't think Helios is going to one-phase Radon like Nartock did with Dust Poker either.
Way.
Mother fucker.
Nartock is pissed he didn't grab the Academy key when he was by the dragon. He might be thinking Renala for 3 remembrances instead
Well,
of...
he's gonna go Godric now.
I think he's thinking maybe after this he's going Renala. I have no idea.
I think he would have liked to, but if Margit's already dead, yeah, you gotta just go. You're going Godric.
Yeah. No, I think what I'm saying is no, that wouldn't make sense if he would do Renala after this as his 3rd remembrance.
No, I think you just go straight to capital. You do Ritual Sword, Ritual Shield, Morgott, and then Morgott and 3 remembrances is a double square. If you lose 3 remembrances, that's fine. You just go pick up Somber 9.
Right. $10-10. Another epic match between these two.
Yeah. I mean, I said coming in, like, it's hard to guarantee a 3-game series because, like, when the games are... If you assume every game is a 50-50, right? There's only a 50% chance we will see a Game 3. But I did say that there were going to be some incredible matches, whether it was a 2-game set or 3.
Yeah. When I was like, I'm commentating Helios and Nartock, I just got so happy. I was like, hell yeah. This is going to be amazing. All right, so... Honestly, Helios is not that far behind now. Like he has deeper Altus access. They might be even going into Lindell.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
He's just so far deep in Altus though. You know, like he has that extra distance.
But like he doesn't have any progress towards a 2nd remembrance, and Nartock's walking into Godric.
Yeah. I think Helios is finally going to Death's Poker now. It looks like.
Or Dragon Halberd. I'm not sure which one he upgraded.
I think it was Death's Poker. But the problem with Helios is
it was Death's
I don't
Poker.
think it's the Somber 5. Right?
Oh.
Like
He has a Somber 5,
stuff?
Nartock has a +6.
Does Helios have 5? Somber 5?
I'm pretty sure he grabbed the 5 before Radon.
Oh, the Somber 5 before we're done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did grab that. Okay. Yeah, because there is a 6 in Lindell and a 7, so yeah. So he'll be set for Summer 9 then. Okay.
I mean, look, my God. This weapon's insane.
We got to ban Death's Poker for season 4. For season 3. Season 4.
Right?
3. Both of them. All right, so the moment Nartock gets to the Grace in Altus, we'll see how.
Is Nartock going for Renala?
I told you, dude. I was like, I think he just said he's going for the key.
This is crazy to me.
Yeah, dude. I was like, what? Did I just hear that correctly?
I mean, there's 4 squares that you can pick up in capital. How are you not going capital?
So I think this is Nartock's plan. He's going to do Renala into Volcano Manor Somber 9 into Hero's Grave. I think that's what he's thinking. Unless, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is for his only way to victory if he's not thinking capital.
Also, according to our statistician Shura, that is officially the 100th time Margit has died this season.
Nice. Poor Margit.
Poor Margit.
Just getting absolutely owned by bingo players.
Yeah. And that's not counting Crucible either. That's only Golden Order.
I'm pretty sure Godric still hasn't killed a bingo player yet, right?
Nope. Asim died.
No.
Yeah.
For what? What was he going for when he died?
I don't remember.
Oh. Damn.
I remember Asim was the first. There might have been 2 deaths, but yeah. I can't believe Nartock's not going for Landell.
Dude, I was like, did I just hear that correctly? Like he's going for Renala? I was very shocked when I heard that. Honestly, if Helios just
Because
rushes
Helios can
Somber
still
9,
win with Morgott, Somber 9, and Ritual Sword, Ritual Shield. He doesn't
Yeah,
need to have 3 Remembrances.
yeah,
Like 3 Remembrances, getting 3 Remembrances with Morgott would make things easier and cleaner, but you don't have to have it.
maybe he's totally forgot you can get the 6 and 7 or the 7 in
I'm not sure.
Capital. Maybe that's the only thing I can think of. But no, I don't think he forgot. I don't think he's forgetting about that.
Especially since he didn't grab the key, right? Like if he grabbed the key earlier, he would have been another, I don't know, almost a minute ahead of where he is right now. He'd probably be through Red Wolf at this point. Like I would understand it a bit more. But without the key, right? Like knowing that, like, even if it's not necessarily what you wanted to do, like
Yeah,
saying like adapting your plan to the circumstances, I think important.
yeah. This is
Because like just a
honestly.
few minutes, like if obviously Nartock doesn't know this and we know it because of the position, like it's not Nartock. If Nartock was ahead in capital, it really would have been pretty much in the bag for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead, this is tight. Maybe even advantage Helios, but tight.
All major advantage Helios. If Helios gets Somber 9 in capital, it's GG's. See you later. Hasta la vista, baby. Unless he kills Red Wolf and goes straight to capital. No, I don't.
That's good. I could double hit.
Helios is in on DTS.
And Helios's reaction is going to be like priceless. He's going to be so confused. He's going to be like, did Nartock just kill Renala, Radon, and Gyre?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just no... Yeah. Helios is going to be too far ahead. Because he's going to have to kill Renala. He's going to have to kill Noble.
I mean, if Nartock could still win +9, but
I don't even think he can. I don't know.
I think the
man.
second 3 Remembrances gets marked, Nartock goes for, or Helios goes for +9, right? That kind of tells you just go for +9.
Yeah. If he went for that first, maybe...
Yeah.
In Volcano Manor, maybe it would have been like a game, but...
Or at the very least killed Rent Noble, right?
Yeah. We're gonna have to ask him after the game why he thought of doing this instead of capital.
There's not a bingo we're missing, right? Like, no, everything's blocked.
Yeah. Huh. Unless he thinks this is Morgott. Just kidding.
No, yeah. The mismark of the century. You kill Morgott.
He's pulling he's pulling a Durf play.
Yeah. Helios is going for capital skip. Gets it.
Fuck you, bro.
Maybe he just wants a... No, I don't know.
Nice.
All right, we got
Okay.
Helios' reaction. What? No reaction.
I think he's confused.
He's processing. He's trying to figure out what just happened.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, did that just get marked? That's where? Maybe he just, I don't know, didn't think Helios had time to kill
I
two
don't know.
different remembrances in
yeah.
that amount of time. I have no idea. Well, I mean, if
Helios, I don't know.
yeah, I don't think Morgott's the play here. I think going for Somber 9 first
Yeah.
and setting up Ritual Shield and Somber 9 first and then going Morgott.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I
Maybe
mean, he might
maybe
be
is
going
doing
for
that.
Ritual Sword and Shield first.
Maybe he is doing that, yeah.
Yeah.
Morgott is definitely not the first square to go for here.
Not anymore. It would have been if Three Remembrances was still on the board because that would have been a double square.
Absolutely.
And now Nartock's going to Capital. He must have just really thought that he was behind on Capital for some reason. Like, there's no other explanation.
Well, if that was the case, you would at least have to compete with Capital for the other squares,
Yeah.
but maybe he's just trying to confuse Helios or something. I don't know. But, I mean, I guess he's not too far behind.
I mean, no, he's well behind.
I'm just being positive, okay? Yeah, he's way behind it.
I mean, maybe if he can fake Helios out into going Hero's Grave right now.
No.
Yeah.
Because then Helios is like, I guess I'll just do these.
Yeah.
I think when Helios marks the square, he's going to be shocked. He's going to be like, oh, I misplayed this. He was way far ahead. He was way further ahead than I thought. Yeah, Helios is going to mark it right now. Nartock's whole body's going to sink in his seat.
Dagger on me or what?
Does Helios have enough time to get all three, do you think? All three capital squares?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know.
How do I...
He's
I think
going for
Nartock's-
Somber 9 now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do have time to win all capital squares, you do it because you get it because you're a little bit behind going into Morgott, but you make up the time with the +9. Like, that would be how you would get all 3 capital squares.
I think Nartock's best play here is Morgott, just racing Morgott. Just going straight towards Morgott, you know, and like, because Helios still has to get the 8 and 9.
Nartock
right?
needs to be very careful here. But Helios did set up a Grace for it earlier. He got the Grace outside of the Pumpkinhead duo, which is pretty close to the jump over.
Yeah, he is very close to that area. I think if Nartock might be able to sneak Morgott from under.
Yeah, like I
Helios.
said, if Nartock's able to sneak Morgott, the only way Helios is able to actually win Morgott is a situation where the +9 makes up the difference on, like, makes up a time difference on Gold.
I totally
Free
forgot
and Morgott.
about. Yeah, I totally forgot about how long Summer 9
Yeah.
actually takes. I forgot about that.
Like, there's no way that Nartock, like, Helios, there's no way that Helios gets +9 and then is still ahead going into Morgott. It'd
where's
be
Helios
because he's
going?
faster. He needs the 6.
Oh, there's a 6 up here too?
He's in the wrong spot. It's on the pipe. Oh, he fell. It's on the pipe that goes back down.
Oh.
It's very close to there, but on the pipe.
Oh, I didn't even know there was one there. Interesting.
Yeah.
I know about the one on the staircase.
It's on the pipe that's
They're done.
directly in front of him. Oh, no.
He
Yeah,
has no idea where it is.
it's on the left. He passed it. He's going the wrong way. Right there. Right in front of his face. There.
He sees it.
You
got
can't
it.
make that jump, Helios. Helios is cracking.
Mid jump, he said, "Will that kill me?" While falling 100 feet. Oh man. Okay, we got a game.
Yeah.
Okay, it's back. Oh, unless Nartock goes for Somber 9, and it looks like he is. Oh boy. Raw. I don't. Yep. I think his only chance was to go straight for Morgott.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. Maybe he's prepping both. Well, I don't know what's gonna happen, dude.
I don't know. At this point, we're just passengers.
We could see double prep madness, dude.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, I guess.
I mean, they're both playing a little weird. Nartock killed Renala for 3 remembrances, and Helios just looked at a fall that kills you 3 times over and was surprised that he died.
The panic is real.
Yeah.
Panic is real.
Yeah, see, Helios already has the Dragon Barrel West Grace, though. Like, yeah.
Yeah, if Nartock tries to finish Somber 9, it's GG's. But if he pivots after grabbing the 7, we got a game on our hands.
You could also grab the 8 from the Scarab here. But no, just quits out. The thing is, though, he's not even, like, he's still, Nartock has the Grace up, or sorry, Helios has the Grace up by the Duelist and the Gargoyle before Goldfree. And Helios can double prep. Once
Helios thinks Nartock did Rykard, so he thinks he has Somber 9 too.
Yeah.
Like, prepped. He's freaking out. They're both freaking out. But yeah, sorry. What were you saying, Hooser? My bad.
I'm saying, like, Nartock, Helios is still ahead on Morgott because he has a closer Grace. And he could double prep. Like, he could kill Godric and then go for... Or not Godric, sorry. Goldfree. And then go into Hero's Grave.
You think Helios would do that?
It's Helios. Of course he would.
Yeah.
And there's Somber 9 for Helios.
Yeah, this is bad for Nardi.
It is.
Man, Nartock played so well, too.
Mm-hmm.
It was just
the
the beginning of the end. The bottom and the top bun of the sandwich were just not enough, but the middle was so good.
Dude, that early game, like, after the first square marked,
Yeah.
I would say after the first 2 squares were marked by Helios, Nartock played some of the best bingo I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, between minute 5 and minute 5 and an hour and 12 minutes between like 5 being once Nartock finally got Torrent, and then an hour and 12 being when Nartock marked the bell bearings. Like, he played so well.
Yeah, he was just melting everything, and
Yeah.
like the square pace was so fast. And like one little blunder with Renala, made the game, right? Changed the game, just like that. And that's just how close games get at this level.
I mean,
you know?
maybe
Like,
if he even had the Academy key, he could have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, 'cause he was very close on the Somber 9, right? If he just had the Academy key, he might have been able to get away with that play.
Or if he went Rykard too. Rykard could have been a play with Somber setting up Somber 9 too, maybe. I don't know. No,
I think it's too slow.
Who knows? If he just if you just went straight to capital, it would have been just back and forth craziness.
I mean, I think he would have just won because Helios was leaving 3 remembrances on the board. So if Nartock would have gone hard into Morgott instead of Renala, he would have beaten Helios to capital by a long while, and that would have been a double mark. Morgott
he had
and
a better
3 remembrances.
He had a better Death Poker, +6 rather than +5 for Helios.
Yeah.
He would have killed bosses faster because they were neck and neck, I think. Right after Helios killed Godric, he would have been at that point where Helios had an Altus.
And Helios is going straight for Morgott here.
Yep.
Helios didn't grab the Grace. If Helios somehow dies, he will be sent back to exactly where Nartock is now.
Dude, Helios, I made this mistake, dude. Just be careful. Be careful with Morgott.
Nartock is fighting Goldtree, but this is for the game and for the set. This will give Helios a spot in the finals if he gets this kill.
2 years in a row. Can he do it?
Oh my god, he's in trouble.
Dude, I told you! Grab the Grace, Helios!
Great opportunity to get off the Ash there. Phase transition. Nartock does get Goldtree down, so if Helios dies, Nartock will actually be ahead.
Yep.
Not so bad.
What? Too close, Helios. What are you doing? Oh.
Huge Ash of War. Helios just needs a few more hits and he'll secure himself a
he's
spot in the
corner.
finals.
We got it.
Oh, we got it. Nice. GG's.
And he's done
Holy
it. Helios has made it to the finals of Elden Square Season 2. He will play the winner of Nexus and Shura.
What a set, dude.
What
Oh, man.
a game.
That was incredible.
What 2 matches by Helios and Nartock we just witnessed.
Some
Amazing.
of the best bingo I've ever played, I think.
2 top-tier competitors going at it.
Yeah.
Both games went to end game. I mean, just amazing bingo skills right
that
there.
That was really good. That was really, really good.
And that's
I'm-
heartbreak for
I'm
Nartock
kinda-
too.
Kind of amazed
Yeah,
by both of those games.
yeah, it is. I mean, like
Because Nartock had it. He just didn't play the end game right. Nartock had him.
he did, he
Yeah.
did. That Renala decision was it. That was it. And we're just gonna have to ask him, like, what? Why?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Well, we will bring Helios in. Jay's also going to join us for the post-match interview. And Nartock will join if and when he's ready.
Okay.
I just want to give him a minute to, I'm sure he's, gather his thoughts and things.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Helios. Welcome in. Congratulations, man. And welcome in
Thank
Nartock
you.
as well.
Good game, boys. Amazing.
GG's.
Amazing content. Amazing.
Yeah, what a crazy set there. Helios, like we did talk to you a little. I talked to you a little bit, and because you joined the Legion call after game 1.
Yeah.
But game 2 here, I mean, you were down 8-5 at one point. You knew you potentially had an Altus lead. I think you even said, like, I think I'm cooked. Can you walk us through how you were able to collect yourself and bring this one back?
Okay. So, in most games I play ever, I normally have a square lead or I'm equal, right? I sort of play in a fashion that sacrifices map and gets squares. So I'm very used to having a similar number. And when it was 8-5, I sort of had a mini panic attack.
Yeah, I saw
Why is my
that.
square number so much lower? And I was freaking out. And then I was like, wait, this is like if I'm playing against me, because normally my opponent has Altus and I have the square lead, but I have prio on 3 to 4 squares. I should just try to convert my prio and see what happens, is what I thought.
Yeah. That was the turnaround right there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like you kind of play, you knew, like just knowing kind of where Nartock was and the like with the squares he was making, you kind of judged exactly where he was and like what square he was going for next. And right at the moment he got Altus, he was about to do Eleonora, and you got it right before he did, and just made the right choice there, like holding that for the last Alta square to get, which was
The last early Altus, yep.
early
I think
Alta square.
pretty okay.
Yeah, it was like perfect timing. So you predicted it very well there.
Yeah, I mean that was especially that last game was just completely insane. I'm curious, Nartok had a bit of a disaster of the start, but was able to gain a bunch of ground with you because he used Death's Poker instead of the Banished Knights that you got from Treescent. Can you talk us through your decision to go with the Banished Knights rather than Death's Poker at the start?
It was not a conscious decision. I was pretty much just delaying it. And then there was a point where I had to get all of the fast squares that I could to even up the square count. And like I would level Vigor or I would do whatever else because I needed to get rid of my runes at some points. And then after we're done, I had to pivot, right? Because I had the Somber 5 and I had the DP. It made no sense to keep using Banished Knights.
Yeah.
Right. You made a good switch at a good time, I feel.
I feel like it was way too late, but it was
A little late.
It was better late than never. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, GG's Helios, congratulations. I mean, what a set and what a win for you. You will now advance to the finals and play the winner of Shura Nexus. It's not your first time playing in a finals of Elden Squares. Last time you finished second in a 3-game set. How are you feeling going into this one, and what are you going to do to make sure it goes in your favor this time?
I think I've been playing pretty well recently. There's just been a few hiccups here and there that I have to pay more attention to not make those smaller mistakes, but I've been playing very well recently, so I'm just going to keep the same mentality I have now, I think. Same vibes, all that, and hope for the best.
Well,
yeah.
Best of luck to you, sir. We will get the other semifinal scheduled. Nexus's fingers not broken, so that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
And best of luck to you in the finals against either Shura or Nexus. Congratulations on the win today. You played incredible. Nartock, welcome in, man.
Hello.
I mean, what a hell of a series. Very impressed with the worst start of all time potentially at the start of game 2 there. Very impressed with your way to bring it back. Can you talk with us a little bit about how, because I really was worried that game was just going to snowball. If you don't know, Nartock also went for the same opening play and died to Treescent, so didn't have the grace either.
It didn't take first step either. Yeah.
I didn't want to heal. I didn't want to heal because I know I was racing, so I died.
Yeah, I mean, I was concerned that thing could snowball just completely out of control, and you were able to manage it so well. How were you able to do that, man?
It was pretty simple. I think the moment I died, I said, "Oh, I lost," and I think I did. But then I got the next one of the next squares. I was just maybe Helios thinks I skipped Treescent, and so he respects it, doesn't go torrent only. So I went for that. Just collected the next square. And then I found Death's Poker. Death's Poker was the one reason why I could come back, because Death's Poker means doesn't matter that Treescent is not dead for me. The worst thing about that death also was Treescent still has to die. I have to do that weapon check, but I found Death's Poker, so I said, nope, nothing is getting checked. I'm doing nothing. This is my weapon. And then I prioritized, because I saw column 1 even before we started the game, the moment the board appeared, I saw not column 1, column 2. So that's when I said, okay, I'm not blocked yet. I'll get FSB because I need this +6 with Death's Poker. This can catapult me into the game. And from there on, I got a nice block on column 2 with the Crimson Viridian. I also took the Talisman as a keepsake, made it easier. Combined it with Caves. This way I blocked his threats, got some squares and made my own threat. And that's pretty much when I got Breathing Room, right? I was allowed to get my map up and that's pretty much how I got back. That converting that block on column 2 into a threat on row 1, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. And now, talk one thing. I hate to do this, but I do need to ask. Can you talk us through the Renala decision for 3 Remembrances in the end game there?
The Renata decision was just that's one of the problems with mid game. Helios was quiet for 18 minutes when after smithing plus 12. So I was not sure how much he did. He did send sacred blast charges, right? So that means he might have Godric Grace. Godric might be dead. He maybe even killed Redan before marking that square. Like, I was not 100% sure how much he actually prepped before that. So once I was in that even position, like 8-8, 9-9, I think. Like, first off, I didn't want to get sniped. Those snipes fucked me up. Like 5 Khalid bosses, very close. And then, Eleonora into 5 Khalid bosses was very sad.
That was the turning point there.
Catacombs, was my second catacomb, not too bad. But those 2 square snipes, those were really bad. And then I was just unsure if what Helios' progress was, and I knew if Helios somehow is ahead on Capital, which is not that unlikely. I have 1 Remembrance that I have the Grace Altos Junction, so I'm not that close to DTS. I don't have Capital access yet. If Helios is somehow ahead on Capital, that Morgott into a 3 Remembrance double mark loses me the game instantly. So I played it the way you saw. I anticipated taking 3 Remembrances off him, and then I was hoping he makes a decision to, I make the right decision. If at the end Helios goes Morgott before Summer 9, I think I potentially win that game. So I think that's how that all happened.
That's very fair, man. And you still have a competitive set. We still have the 3rd place game for you, and you got a chance to win some money as well. So it's not goodbye, of course, but unfortunately you are out of the running for the title. So if there's anything you'd like to say, I'll give you the floor. And like I said, we're not going to do full on the whole cry spiel emotional thing, because you still got competitive bingo left for the season.
I think all I want to say, I'm besides the tree send and me killing Gorank in game 1 without not realizing that it locks me out, I think I'm very happy with at least my showing. Might have a few errors here and there. There are also depending, sometimes only errors in hindsight, like I didn't know before. So I'm at least happy I showed what I was capable of. Me and Helios, I think, at least entertained 2 13-11 sets.
It was incredible games, yeah.
And I just appreciate that I was a part of all this, that I found a way to play some competitive gaming again. It was really nice. So I appreciate all the people in Zero Scratch and all the opportunities that are given. And I'll miss everyone very much once I'm gone in half a month.
Well, thank you so much, Nartock. It was you did a great job today, and can't wait to call the 3rd place game against either Nexus or Shura. Appreciate the hell out of you, and also obviously I'm gonna miss you. We'll all miss you while you're in Singapore, but can't wait for you to get back, man, and be with us as well. So thank you so much, Narty. Also, I just want to say really quickly before we get out of here, please go follow Helios on Twitch. He's hosting an event tomorrow. It's his first time ever hosting an event on stream. It is the Back to Limgrave event. It is a Limgrave only randomizer event. So be sure to check him out and follow him. If you like competitive Elden Ring stuff, it's going to be a great event. And let's support Helios as he goes out of the playing arena and into the broadcast booth tomorrow. So good luck, Helios, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Durf, thank you so much for joining. And with that being said, we really got to get it transitioned over to the Crucible game between Snowy and Lorian. So give us a few minutes to go ahead and flip everything for that. I really hope you guys enjoyed this set, and we will all be right back as I will be joined by Rambler. So thank you so much. See you all in just a minute.
Thank you, everyone.
GG's, everybody.
Please become Elden Mod.